Peace, everybody in the building. Peace to all 7 of you. If you are here, let me know what's up. Let me know where you are. Let me know what you're doing. The full moon is actually going to max out in about 20 minutes. Peace, everybody in the That's what's going to... Oh, let me... Peace to all 7 of you. If you are here, let me know what's up. Echo. Let me know what you are. All right, here we go. Let me know what's up. Let me know where you are. Turn down my phone. Peace to Tarvi in the building. Peace to Alaskan Avatar. All right. Peace to Flex Washington. All right. We're going to have a good one today, folks. We're going to get into some money magic. I actually took a little break from work. Peace to Nikita Black. All right. I see y'all in the building. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to all 80 of y'all. I'm going to give a little bit more time. Put a little note in here. We're going to get into some things today. All right. Peace to Celestial Deity Treasure. Okay. In Miami working on some products. That's what I'm talking about. All right. That's what I'm talking about. And that's what we're going to get into. We're going to get into how to utilize a lot of this energy that's coming on the planet right now. All right. It's a very, 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 very amazing time to be alive. Wonderful time to be alive. Wonderful time to be fruitful and multiply. Wonderful time to for changes and transformation. A little bit about, you may have been going through, I know myself, during this retrograde season, which pretty much kicked off the last lunar eclipse, right? A couple of weeks ago. And, been a lot of soul searching. And I'm sure a lot of y'all have been going through the same thing. Been doing a lot of soul searching, a lot of deep diving within self, have a lot of things happen, a lot of challenges come your way. And just, things that have tested your resilience. And it could be financially, it could be emotionally, it could be professionally at the job, at work, career-wise. It could be in your relationships, with your boo, right? Things have been, you may have experienced breakups, right? You may have, Mercury was just retrograde. It's direct now, but you may have had someone come back into your life, right? Unexpectedly, or people come into your life unexpectedly, right? So a lot of things to think about. Let's first and foremost, shout out to y'all. We're going to start shout out to David Harris. But let's start with what we're currently undergoing now. So the full moon is in Capricorn. It will be hitting its max, or what they call the perigee, which means basically that the moon is being illuminated by the sun. And what a super moon is, because this is a super moon, super strawberry moon. And the super moon basically just means that the moon is closer to the earth, or it appears closer to the earth. So basically what's happening is the planet is being charged up. There is extra energy on the planet. Now, if you guys have been following me, those of you who are melanated, I've told you the best way to understand melanin, and not just melanin, there's 3 forms of melanin. So there's the melanin that has, my skin dark, right? That is the primal form, the phenomelanin, right? Then there is, what's the name of it? There's the melanin for your brain, right? There's melanin in your brain. Forgot the name right now. It'll come back to me. Then you have what makes you special, what gives you the power, what gives this skin the power of Black Panther suit. And Black Panther suit, if you guys, I'm sure everybody saw the movie Black Panther by now, you notice that he took in energy, and he was able to take in energy blast, taking hits, right? Taking things that were coming to him. That suit would hold the energy, right? Charge it up, and then he was able to utilize that energy and spit that energy back out. This is one of the greatest secrets of magic, one of the greatest secrets of manifestation of all time. We have what science would call black body radiation. In fact, let me just show and prove this, because y'all know how I do. I try to show and prove. Peace to David. Neuromelanin. Thank you, David Harris. Neuromelanin is for the brain. But the main melanin we're talking about for us is eumelanin. If you look at right? Let's look at the element gold, and I'm going to show you something. Let's look at the element gold. Let me pull this up. And we'll go into a little bit about what makes you special, okay? So let's screenshot this, right? Now remember, if you guys have been following me, I told you the indigenous person, the indigenous man and woman, we speak from tonal languages. So you hear things like clicks, like, or they talk about, the language has, there's different tones in ancient so-called African language or indigenous languages, right? They're tonal. So they're based on the sound, not necessarily the words per se, not necessarily the letters and not necessarily the sentences. They're based on sound. So when we look at this, let's do a screen share. And we're talking about eumelanin. This is the part of you that's like Black Panther suit. You have the phenomelanin, which is this. You have the neuromelanin, which is the melanin in your brain, which is the dark matter that's in your brain. In fact, as you age and as you get older, you would get more neuromelanin in your brain because you are preparing yourself to go back into the universal womb, to go back into the dark matter, to go back into so-called outer space, which is really inner space, right? We just don't realize that because we're housed in these physical bodies and we see physical bodies out there. But outer space, the vastness and the darkness of space is really the vastness and the darkness that is within us. It's the same reason why we're mostly made of water, okay? Because that water in the depth of water, the same way the earth is made of 75% water, is the same reason we are made of 75 to 80% water. It represents the depth that we have within us. It represents how spirit moves. Hydrogen and oxygen, right, make up water. Hydrogen is one of the first elements so-called created after the Big Bang or after the universe came into effect. All right, but let's go into this a little bit and we'll go into some Pluto and Capricorn stuff. 1 second. Okay, so when we're looking at gold, right, the element for gold is AU. Okay, so we have something, so AU, right, gold, AU, all right? So eumelanin, okay? So eumelanin is spelled, some of you already know this. So eumelanin, okay? The most abundant type of human melanin found in black and brown hair and skin, crafted with intention, okay? So it's basically, so eumelanin, this is what we really want to look at, all right? Right here. So eumelanin is an inert pigment capable of efficiently absorbing UV photons as they enter the epidermis. Your skin is your epidermis, okay? So UV photons, ultraviolet light. When you're talking about higher chakras, right? Or you're talking about advancing, going into the crown chakra, going into the opening up your pineal gland. You are ultimately, even if you look at any chakra charts or anything like that. Let me see. Actually, I have something here. So if you look on this, and this is something you could get off Amazon, I think it's like $10. This is rainbow chakra centers, right? If you look and you're going up right? It says absorbing ultraviolet rays. As you go up, you're going into ultraviolet, right? So the sun rays are actually meant to stimulate your higher chakra centers, your crown chakra, right? Your pineal gland, to open these things up. Now, why is this important? Why is opening up your pineal gland important? Why is knowing how your melanin works important? Why is this, this why are these so this is why these ultraviolet rays are important. What we're trying to do is we're trying to basically harness the energy of light, just like Black Panther suit does. Now, the way this is used against us is sinisterly done. One of the sinister ways that this is done is something that happened recently, where we had, we had Juneteenth. Juneteenth was a big energy grab. Juneteenth was a big way to harness energy. And the reason being is the people in power, the 10%, right? Which Nation of Gods and Earth would call the 10%. And these are people who know the truth, but basically lead people astray. These are the people that are in your secret societies. These are the people that are part of the boule, the Black boule, right? These are the people that have you thinking Black Lives Matter. These are the people that paint Black Lives Matter on the sidewalks. These are people that, put all the police brutality videos in your face. These are the people that constantly pump racism and all this Karen stuff, right? What they are doing is they are taking the energy that you have housed in your melanated body that literally absorbs ultraviolet rays, which I told you. And they're taking this energy that you have and utilizing it. And they're usually utilizing it for commerce. They're utilizing it for commerce. When we're talking about money, we're talking about an exchange of currency. Currency is a form of energy. So we have what you call the stock exchange, right? You're talking about exchange of energy. If I gave you $1 billion and you had that $1 billion sitting there and you weren't able to, that is correct, David Harris, yes, bloodsuckers of the poor, the 10%. If I gave you billions of dollars, right, and told you that these billions of dollars, but all of a sudden the economy crashed. I gave you $1 billion of yesterday. The economy crashed today. If you can't spend that $1 billion, it's worthless, right? This actually happened in Zimbabwe where they changed the currency and all of a sudden the Zimbabwe dollar was worthless. You could wipe your ass with it and blow your nose. So money is really what you can exchange it for, what value you can exchange from that money. So the value that you have is in your energy. Money is an energy exchange and it's a currency exchange. I am giving you my dollars because I have the buying power, right? It's called buying power. I'm giving you my dollars in exchange for you giving me a t-shirt, right? But I'm giving you a certain amount of money in exchange, you give me something. So this is my values determined by the money that I give you. Your value is determined by the energy that you give off in exchange. So when you're indulging in rituals that you don't know about, or that you don't have any idea about, called Juneteenth, and you're having barbecues and you're having cookouts and all that, again, nothing wrong with that, right? But you have to realize you're giving energy and you're giving power to a holiday that has nothing to do with your greatness. That has nothing to do with overcoming your oppression. That has nothing to do with validating the highest part of you. That has nothing to do with edifying and giving you stronger values, morals, principles, and a business acumen that's going to get you out of not only physical slavery, but most importantly, mental slavery. Mental slavery. So we have to really be aware of what we buy into. Be aware of what type of energy that we're giving off. Now, when we're talking about Capricorn season, right? This full moon in Capricorn. We're talking about Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, okay? Saturn is the planet that deals with structures. It deals with limitations. It deals with Restrictions, big up to Soul Matters, big up to Divine Gem, okay? Builds up, Saturn deals with restrictions. It deals with structures, okay? That's why Saturn has the ring. The wedding ring is a representation of Saturn, because when you get a wedding ring, there's limitations, right? Can't cheat, get out the marriage. There's a contract, right, to bind you guys together. If there's a separation, there's a splitting of assets. So Saturn represents strictures, limitations, also society, right? Because society, you can't just go outside butt ball naked, right, and run around. There's limitations. You have to have a license to drive a car, you know, XYZ. There's limitations. Certain stores, you still got to go in and wear a mask, right? These are societal structures and limitations that we're under. So we are not under this full moon in Capricorn, but we are also under a ton of retrogrades, okay? We have Mercury that was recently retrograde. Again, a lot of old things happened, maybe some miscommunication. I know I had some technical issues with my computer, stuff like that. Those things should be changing, okay? But what another thing about Mercury is Mercury is the planet closest to the sun. So we're talking about Mercury, and we're talking about essentially our communication and how we communicate to ourselves. The things that we have taught and told ourselves about for years, since our childhood, the things that we've been programmed from school, parents, friends, family, society, right? Examining those things and the things that we say about ourselves in reference to that. So with Mercury going direct, our communication should have improved. Also, you may have been challenged during Mercury retrograde with people from the past coming back. You and me have been challenged with the way you've been thinking, maybe structures and things fell apart, maybe relationships that you had with people have fell apart during Mercury retrograde, right? These are things that were necessary. Everything that's happening right now is necessary, and it deals with your spiritual transformation and your preparation basically for this fifth dimensional energy that we are in. We're in the 5G. So when the frequency, 5G is a frequency that is in the atmosphere, right? It's a cell phone frequency emitted from towers. So it's a frequency. So once the frequency is raised, we went from 4G to 5G in the technological world. That affects us. We can't see our Wi-Fi signal. We can't see the 5G frequencies, but they are affecting us. It's another reason why people were passing away during the Rona, but I ain't gonna get into that. I got a video, you could go deep dive into that about the whole, conspiracy with that. But this frequency raising is really the key to this whole thing. And when it comes to money, when it comes to abundance, right? It's really the heart's desire. With this full moon in Capricorn and with these structures, with Mercury going retrograde, right? It's about the Mercury being in retrograde and going direct. Those are the things that we have rehearsed. It's about going into the past. Retros is always about going into the past. We're under a Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. Saturn deals with death, destruction, transformation, new things being planted, right? We're under a Jupiter retrograde, right? Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So being that Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, we talked about order, we talked about structure, we talk about discipline, we talk about society, right? With the full moon in Capricorn, right? And this Saturnarian influence, right? We're talking about basically getting to the point to where we are building structures that channel the frequency of abundance, channel the frequency of riches, channel the frequency of the things that we want to manifest here on earth. But the key thing is, how do we do this? We have to go into the shadow of ourselves, and we have to raise our emotional attachments to old structures, to old ways of thinking. That's what Saturn retrograde is about. It's in Aquarius. We're in the age of Aquarius, right? So this deals with new ideas, new ways of water bearing, new ways of emotional emission. How our emotions whatever you are enjoying in life, your emotions are attached to it. For instance, if you like watching police brutality videos, if you watch police brutality videos when they come across your timeline, there's an emotional attachment to it, right? There's emotional attachment to it, which separates, me from someone else, or maybe you from someone else. You don't have the emotional attachment, so you may not watch it. If you like fight videos, there's emotional attachment to that. If you like gossip, there's an emotional attachment to that. If you're procrastinating, there's an emotional attachment to procrastination. If you're a person who doesn't complete tasks, there's an emotional attachment to the reason why you don't complete tasks. Emotions are energy in motion. Again, this is that energy that you have within, that energy that has been used against you and siphoned off through a Juneteenth, right? That's siphoned off when these negative stories are put out into the universe. And what usually happens is when you're stressed, what happens? You go out and buy some food. You go out and buy some clothes. You go out and buy some things, right? People make money based on your stress, based on your hurt, and based on you feeling oppressed. So the structures of how we look at life has to change. The structure of how we look at racism has to change. The structure of how we look at oppression has to change. Because if we continuously think that we are being, now I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. Yes, David Harris, great servants, horrible masters. Correct. Yep. Just how racism exists, obviously, right? There's people that's racist against you. If you look at my last video, I'll talk about it. But there's no way you're going to stop racism. There's no way you're going to stop people from not liking you. There's no way you're going to stop haters. There's no way you're going to stop people from not wanting to win. There's people that look just like your black ass in your neighborhood, in your family, around you, that don't want you to win. That whenever you have a good idea, whenever something comes up in your brain, they're going to shoot that shit down. They're going to talk about it. They're not going to want to see you win. All right? These are the people in your neighborhood. These are the people that you are around. These are the people that you are surrounded with, unfortunately. And these are the people that sometimes you work with. You got to spend 8-9 hours a day with them, right? So there's never going to be a time and place where you're not going to be challenged. Part of the spiritual journey is being challenged. This guy I have behind me is Heru. When we're dealing Heru, this is a time for us to awaken our Heru or our Horus, you may call it. And our Horus is our divine willpower. This is the ability to see things from a higher perspective, from the perspective of the divine falcon. The reason the Cometians, you call them Egyptians, the reason the Cometians use these particular images is because they knew that we had an animal nature that would be attached to fight videos. They knew that we would have an animal nature that would be attached to lust, you know what I'm saying? And thinking with our penis or thinking with our vagina. They knew we had an animal nature that would be attached to greed, materialism. They knew that we had an animal nature that just wants to sleep, eat, work, and fuck, right? Which is basically what an animal does. They wake up in the morning, they go look for food, they eat, they have sex, right? They may relax, you know what I'm saying? See a lion sitting out in the sun, you know what I'm saying? And they sleep and they do it again. A lot of people live their lives just like animals. We've seen it. We have lived our lives just like animals in the cycle of eating, sleeping, fucking, and shitting and eating, right? And pissing. We've all lived in these cycles, okay? Also, this is Cancer season. Yes, shout out. Thank you, Flex Washington. This is Cancer season. So Cancer season is dealing with the emotions. When we're dealing with Heru and you're dealing with money, and you're dealing with discipline, you're dealing with new structures, you're dealing with implementing new systems, you're dealing with implementing new order, right? You have to be able to attach your emotions to your new way of life. You have to be able to attach your emotions to your new habits. You have to be able to attach your emotions to your new patterns. One of the best ways to do it, I always talk about this, is meditation, right? You go into a meditative trance. You get in that meditative trance. Don't try to clear your head. Don't try to take everything out. Easy way to go into meditation. Breathe in 4 times. Belly out. Breathe out 8 times. Belly in. Repeat that process over and over. You tap into what is called your vagus nerve. That vagus nerve puts you in rest and digestion. Eventually, that 4-8 breath, your body won't have you doing anymore, and thoughts will start coming through your brain. This is the time that you can attach these wings to your emotions, these wings to your new discipline, these wings to your new way of living, these wings to your new workout, these ways to you looking up Facebook marketing, these ways to developing a business plan, these ways to developing you getting away from that toxic person that you're living with, new ideas to get away from that toxic job where you're not going anywhere, new ways to where you are able to rise above the depression, the anxiety, the childhood trauma, the problems in life. Divine willpower. Divine willpower is you not being guided by your emotions. The reason these retrogrades, Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, again, death and transformation, Capricorn ruled by Saturn, debt to old structures, new beginnings. It's time for all of us, okay? If your body ain't right, you need to figure out how you're going to change your diet. Maybe you need to join a gym. Maybe you need to start doing things in your house. Maybe you need to be healthier. Maybe you need to look up some herbs. Maybe it's time to do something different than what you've been doing, okay? Maybe you need to start thinking different. Maybe the way you think about yourself and the way you think about the world. Oh, bad shit always happens. I remember I was talking to this girl, right? And she was talking about moving to another state and how this state was so bad and so fucked up and blah, 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 right? And I'm like, yo, okay, that's that. But you're in this state right now, right? I'm talking about physical state, right? You're living in this place right now. Let's say Oklahoma. You're living in Oklahoma right now. You're trying to go to Texas. Why would you predict that your new move to Texas is going to be bad? Why every time you talk about it, you're like, well, this might happen again. Now, that's the old you. That's the old structures. Those are the old things that were happening to you. Those things are about to change, and you have to have that type of emotional optimism. And the only way that is developed is through constant meditation and the repetition of meditation. The repetition of meditation. Another way you can harness this is through your daydreams, through your thoughts, right? One of the things that I've been doing lately, I'll put y'all on, is if I'm walking or driving or whatever, you know, going out or whatever the case is, and I'm sometimes in thought and I have something that I'm working on, an idea, you know what I'm saying? You snap it, you think it, you visualize it, you snap it so that you have a physical and an emotional response. I am abundant. Good things come to me. Power is my name. I am fearless. I am greatness. I do not work hard for money. Money comes to me easily. Abundance comes to me easily. People that network and want to see me succeed come to me easily and help me. I am not a procrastinator. I am an activator. I am motivated, right? And you hardwire these things. In meditation, you have to have a vision to deal with the imaginative part of the right brain, and you have to have an affirmation to deal with the verbal and the logical part of the left brain. Those things combined in meditation is how you are able to awaken the temples. Okay, the temple of God is you. You are the temple of God. The temple of God is within. This full moon in Capricorn is about you awakening that temple of God and going to get yours. As I said in my last video about Juneteenth, if you didn't use Juneteenth for commerce, because the so-called slave, when he was told he was free by massa, right? He still didn't have any way to make any money. He's sharecropping, boom. He still got to buy food from the white man. Probably still had to rent a house from the white man. Probably had to rent donkeys from the white man and horses and oxes in order to do the sharecropping, right? Because they still owned everything, right? So business is the necessary step. Getting money is the necessary step. Getting to this bag is the necessary step. But getting to the bag for the sake of materialism, getting to the bag for the sake of flossing, getting to the bag for the sake of ego and saying, I am better than you, I am better than somebody, doesn't make sense. The reason it doesn't make sense is because all that shit is vanity. You cannot take that shit with you. The money is not going anywhere with you, but you do want to have enough money. And people who talk about money and it being fiat and being imaginative, correct. Money is the value that we give to it. Money is energy. And we see that with crypto, right? If a lot of people say crypto is money, for instance, Dogecoin, right? Those who are talk, know about crypto. Dogecoin started out as a joke, as a fun meme stock, right? Wasn't supposed to go anywhere, and it's dropped now. Those of you who follow the markets, but at one point it was bubbling because people believed in it. People believed it was money. People believed that it was currency. So what you think is currency is currency. What you think is reality is reality. But you have to set up structures and systems and ways of being and habits that you inculcate in your mind on a repetitious basis so that mind moves matter, right? It's not the other way around. Peace, Petite Princess. Peace, Drea. Peace, Jeanette. It's not the other way around. As much as they want us to think, right? Matter doesn't move mind. Mind moves matter. The reason we are in this magical and this spiritual exploration and on this hero journey is because we are trying to make our minds into matter. We want our emotions, our energy that we put in motion to manifest the things we want. We want, when we meet people, we have this Herald the Falcon view. So I can meet somebody and my spiritual senses and abilities, my psychic abilities that I've harnessed over the years, and my going within, tapping into my inner self, and my inner self, the inner darkness, the inner dark matter, the dark matter, the dark ma'ater, right? My kundalini, right? My Ra, my Chi, whatever you want to call it. So my aura, my electromagnetic field. So these things are attuned. So if I meet a motherfucker and they're grimy, I'm able to sense it. My Heru, my Falcon, my divine willpower will tell me, no, stay away from this person. Or maybe I'll get a feeling of quote unquote vibe, a vibration. Nah, stay away, don't be with that person. Or I'm with this person, but little red flags keep coming up. Little things keep popping up. Nah, don't be with that person. You know what I'm saying? I was in a situation, a relationship, and I was out of state, right? And the funny thing is I was out of state and I was frustrated with the situation I was in. Boom. And I was like contemplating, like, yo, I should, you know what I'm saying, leave this situation and come back home, right? For a minute. And no, just come back home and leave the situation, right? So I go outside one day, you know what I'm saying? And there's a hat. I'm thinking this, contemplating, doing my meditations or whatever. And and I go outside, this little boy, literally, he's on the top balcony. And he got a hat. And this is all the way in the West Coast, right? He got a hat that says New York on it. Right after I'm doing this meditation and contemplating. That was my sign right there. You know what I'm saying? That was my sign and symbol. But these is, again, that Heru, that vision to recognize that was even a sign for me. Your spell work, your magic, the rituals that you are doing. And a lot of us come into this magical thing. I tell you straight up, when I started doing magic, it was for money. That was my first thing. A lot of us come into it for love and money. You may get your heart broken. You want to hex somebody. You may not be in love. You want to know how to do love spells. You may be broke. You want to get your money up, okay? And I'm going to get into a little bit of spell work, some stuff that you need to do. And we're going to use a straight green candle. I'm going to show you how to light it up, boom, and what you can put in it and how you could get started. The reason we are even using these candles, again, the candle represents you. The flame on top of this wick is your mind. Isn't your mind a fire? Don't you think over 6,000 thoughts, or I think they said 6,000, 68,000 thoughts a day? And they say, science says most of them are negative. The goal is to make most of them positive and geared towards your abundance, but your abundance doesn't come from materialism. Your abundance doesn't come from a nice car. Your abundance doesn't come from a nice house. Your abundance comes from what I just told you about, getting that sign that says New York. That's abundance. The abundance comes when you meet somebody and you know they're not right from you and you are able to escape the problem. That's abundance. The abundance is you in a relationship or meeting someone and getting a good vibe for them, and then they give you some information that's going to help you, or you're able to network and work with them, or you're able to attract people that are going to help you with business, or help you with family, or help you with your kids, or help you with your education, whatever it is. That's abundance. That's abundance. The heart chakra, which is what Heru represents, if you look on the Kemetic tree of life. For those of you who are into Yoruba, this would be your Shango energy, okay? Your Shango energy. This is why it's on your dollar, this particular symbol, because this particular symbol, money, business is not emotional. Business doesn't care about your feelings. Business doesn't care about your Black Lives Matter. Business doesn't care about your poor white trash. Business doesn't care about none of that. Business is business. It has no emotion in it. The only emotion are directed, you got a dollar bill, right? I'm gonna show you how we're gonna use this as well, right? Business is about, look at the symbols. They got the American eagle, which is a stolen version of the Kemetic Heru, right? The 13 colonies, which you know represents Jesus and the 12 disciples, or the sun, right? Jesus and the 12 disciples, or the sun and the zodiac, right? The zodiac with the 12 constellations, which ironically, if you look at the zodiac, they're also animals representing. So these people did not worship animals. Don't let nobody tell you that. And the Kemetic people worship animals. They did not. They were showing you that you have an animal nature within you that you need to not conquer, not ignore, though. If you look at the Sphinx is that too, but looking at the dollar, the pyramid, right, which represents you getting to your bag, or you getting into the spirit of abundance, this eye on top represents illumination, right? Open third eye. Those ultraviolet rays that we were talking about earlier for that crown chakra to be opened up. Now, peace to Straight Panther, peace to High Priestess, peace to Nikita Black. All right. So Capricorn, this energy is here. It deals with money. Capricorn deals with status. Capricorn also deals with power. All right. Capricorn is, again, Saturn is an earth sign. Okay. So this is the time of the year you want to be out in nature as much as possible. You want to be grounding, putting your feet in grass if you can, as much as possible. You want to be playing with coins as much as possible, in particular pennies. Why pennies? Because pennies have that copper resonance, okay? You could check Spirit Doula. She has a great video. The Spirit Doula, she has a great video about copper and how copper helped one of her family alleviate sickness. This particular ring that I have on is wrapped in copper. All right, my amethyst right here is wrapped in copper, okay? These are moons, amethyst, this is amethyst too, moonstones, okay? Stones that resonate with the moon. Also resonate with that ultraviolet sun ray. So you're tapping into these abilities. But you have to get serious. You have to get disciplined. Divine will is one of the hardest things. Divine will is working out when you don't want to. Going to the gym when you don't want to. Eating healthy when you don't want to. Right? I think Mike Tyson said something like that. Like discipline is doing not, he said, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said discipline is doing what you don't like to do. Discipline is doing what you don't like to do to achieve what you want, or something like that, right? And the more you start to engage in these structures, right? And it's really about planning your day, writing out your day. What does your morning look like? Okay, you go to work, boom. Are you making time for reading? Are you making time for spirit? What type of music are you listening to in the morning? What type of things are you taking in the morning? Are you watching news? Writing these things down, really looking at your day-to-day activities, looking at step by step. What are you doing with your 24 hours of the day? There's 8, 16, 24 hours, 8 hours to sleep, 8 hours to work, they say 10, and you have the rest of your time for yourself. So let's say you got 10 hours going and coming, right? 8 hours to sleep. That's 18 hours, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 6 hours. A lot of people play, or have you taken 1 hour of that day to dedicate to yourself, to your growth? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you have kids. Yeah, there's responsibilities, cooking, all that. But have you taken half hour? Have you taken 15 minutes? Have you woken up an hour early? Are you making your happiness, your high vibration, your wings, your divine willpower, an authority? Once you make your divine willpower, they have something that, the Kevin Samuels on, and the men, they have it called the manosphere or the alpha sphere, right? And there's parts of that philosophy that I agree with, because it's about you basically focusing on whatever your purpose is. And to get in tune with your purpose, you have to go within. Jupiter is retrograde in Pisces right now. Jupiter is the planet of abundance, the planet of expansion, the planet of growth, right? And it's funny that Jupiter and Saturn are currently in play, because if you guys remember, we had the Great Conjunction, right? December 21st, when Jupiter and Saturn was at play as well. What were those superpowers that you were talking about then that you wanted to manifest? What have you been doing from December 21st, 2020 to now to manifest them? What old structures need to die and transform? Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. What needs to die? What needs to transform? What type of people you need to stop hanging around with? Is this job that you're in still good enough for you? Is that your heart's purpose? Is that your Heru's desire? Is that your divine will? You're here for a purpose. And if you don't know what purpose you're here for, get a chart reading. Okay, you could email me, blackstormrob@gmail.com. We'll do a chart reading together. Take about a couple hours. You'll have some one-on-one time with me. You can email me for that, the pricing and all that. You know what I'm saying? Elemental magic class as well. You can email me for that. We'll go into different aspects of magic that you could tap into and different ways that you can harness these universal energies, right? But it's about expansion. It's about Jupiter in retrograde. It's about how have you been looking at how you've been getting your money? Have you been looking at how you've been expanding and growing in your life? What things have been working for you and when things haven't been working for you? How have you been growing? Have you not been growing? Are you still stagnant? How do you feel about the struggle? That's a big one for a lot of us melanated people, okay? How do you feel about the struggle? How do you feel about the struggle? And if you are here, please hit that like button. I appreciate it. So does my family. How do you look at the struggle? A lot of people love the struggle. A lot of people love the fact that they came out of poverty, love the fact that they had a super strong, hard life, and love the fact that they still have a super hard life. That's an emotional attachment. Okay? That's an emotional attachment. You don't have your wings yet if you still are loving poverty, if you're still loving the hood, if you're still loving ghetto shit. And look, I come from the same shit. I come from both sides of the track. You know what I'm saying? One side of my family had a lot of money. One side of my family had no money, right? Barely. Well, I can't say no, but wasn't as wealthy as one side of the family. So I've seen it both, from the projects to many mansions. I told y'all this many times, okay? When I was 15, I had my own apartment, fridge, everything, land, all that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people can't say that. But I've also, again, lived in the projects and went to the store and getting government cheese. So a lot of y'all don't even know what government cheese is. So I've seen both. And I say that to say that a lot of times people, just because someone has money doesn't mean that they're happier than you. Just because someone has wealth doesn't mean that they're happier than you. Just because someone has riches doesn't mean that they're happier than you. A lot of them would trade places to be you. A lot of famous people would trade places to be able to go to the store and go in Target and not be harassed and not be bothered. There's a lot of people that would trade place. A lot of rich people would wish they never had those riches because of how many people changed in their life, family and friends, and now they're isolated. Okay, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. So I say that to say, if you are, but being attached to the struggle, being attached to the pain, have an emotional connection to that, you are not going to be able to be emotionally connected to abundance. You're not going to be able to be emotionally connected to riches. You are still looking at the world on a surface level. You have not earned your wings yet. You have not earned your wings yet. The goal for melanated, no other culture takes pride in their poverty but us. None. There's not one. Not even the Black African. Not even the English Black person, the people that come over from the UK and from England and so forth. They don't even look at poverty. The person from the Caribbean, the Jamaican, the Antiguan, the Barbadian, they don't look at poverty as a sign of overcoming or a sign of resilience or something in strength. No, poverty is something that happens, something that you may go through, but the goal is to overcome it by any means necessary. By any means necessary. The goal is to become abundant by any means necessary. You are not here. People talk about fiat money and how it's fake and boom, boom, and the rich are so evil and boom, boom, boom. All right, if they're evil, then you get the money and you do good things with it. You get the riches. People complain, basketball players and sports players and entertainers, and why they not doing this with the money, and why they're not investing in this, and why they don't love us, and why they're doing what they want with their money. They didn't read the books. They didn't do the meditations. They don't have the crystals. They're not taking the baths. They're not burning the incense. They don't have the candles. Everybody has their own lane and everybody has their own purpose. But you do. So why aren't you putting yourself in a position to be at whatever your highest self is and learning whatever your highest self is and whatever your purpose is, so that maybe you can meet the basketball player, the football player, and again, sprinkle as Kwame Brown would say, mama's cooking or daddy's cooking, right? Or whatever you want to sprinkle on it, sprinkle your game, right? Sprinkle your spirit and influence that person. Use your power to influence that person to maybe see things different, to maybe make a different move. It's very easy, or better yet, you yourself get the money. You yourself maximize your highest purpose. You yourself maximize the best person you can be, and raise your kundalini and your vibration to the point where money's just coming in for you out of nowhere, out of different sources. You have multiple streams of income, and now you could affect your family, your friends, and the environment the way that you want. This is why the Chinese people got their hate law passed. Okay? Because they weren't worried about the hate crime itself. They weren't worried about what black and white people were doing to them. They had a focus on family, business. Let's put this money together. Let's present this to the government. We need this bill passed. And they had $5 billion to do so. They have $5 billion to do so. All these entertainers and sports figures, and no one is around them to guide them, because we are not tapped in to our purposes individually, and we are not tapped in to family principles. We do not understand these principles, right? And it's not meant for everyone, but if more of us were in tune and more of us were studying, and that's happening now, when it's an evolution over time, and it's a great thing. It's great because, again, I've been doing this since the 90s, and talking about chakras and crystals and shit like that, man, you might have got shot, stabbed, and killed in the hood. You know what I'm saying? So there was for a long time where I didn't talk about this stuff because it was so much ridicule and so much shit talk that it's like there wasn't an internet to connect me to people to talk about it. But it's good to see y'all, especially those that are younger, the new generation, doing this. Kudos to you. Libations to y'all. And your ancestors. So with Jupiter now, is the energy is here. Oh, let me show y'all something, right? Speaking of Jupiter, let me show y'all something. Let me pull this up actually before I share the screen. If you are here, please hit that like button. We'll appreciate it. All right, let me share this real quick. I'll just type it in. Um, so we talked about you melanin being gold. That is the gold that is within you. That you melanin is that what captures that light that was in you, and again, it's like Black Panther suit captures light and turn it into energy. And let's look at one of my favorite places. You guys that follow me for a while, shout out to you, everybody who's new here. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. And all donations are accepted if this is helping you in any way destroy old structures. Okay. So space weather, this is the energy that we're dealing with. All right. So Venus is here as well. Venus is lining up with Castor and Pollux. So love game. There's going to be a lot of relationships that are going to be built, quote unquote hot girl summer, right? So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be looking for love and looking at love. But the love really you want to have mostly is the love for yourself. And the love for yourself is going to cause you to tap in. The love for yourself is going to cause you to tap into your abundance, which is going to bring great people into your life, great loves. And also is going to bring people that are going to challenge you as well. Now I'll get into that a little bit. But all right, so now I didn't look at today yet. But 1 second. And the reason we look at space weather, because we deal with, those of us that are deeply in spiritual culture, we deal with cosmology. Cosmology is the study of the cosmos itself. So we don't just deal with earthly events. We don't just deal with what happened in the news, what's happening with Nicki Minaj, you know what I'm saying, what's going on with Cardi B. We don't just deal with, they told us to wear a mask. No, we look at the cosmos and we also see what's going on with the stars, you know what I'm saying, what's going on in the environment. So, not talking about it today. However, let's go back to the 23rd. I want to show y'all something, which was yesterday, and they said it was going to happen today. I guess it didn't record it. Hold on 1 second. All right, so this was the 23rd, 7:07. So it says something just exploded behind the sun's northeastern limb. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory recorded the blast June 23rd, 7:07 Universal Time, which sent a shadowy shock wave through the sun's upper atmosphere. Okay, so this was yesterday, the 21st. Today is the 24th, right? So 7:07 Universal Time was actually 3:07 p.m. Eastern Time. I looked it up yesterday. So it says that shadowy shock wave throughout the sun's upper atmosphere. The explosion represented a mild C34 on X-ray solar flare scales, but it was probably stronger than that. The edge of the sun partially eclipsed the flare, reducing the radiation able to reach Earth's orbiting satellite. Okay, so it says, so the main part of this is the source of the flare won't remain behind the sun's limb for long. Solar rotation would turn it towards us in no more than 24 hours. Okay, so basically what they are saying is this particular solar flare is hitting the planet today. Okay, even though the 24th, they're not talking about it today, but this is actually hitting the planet for whatever reason. They're not talking about it. Maybe they're concealing it. Maybe they don't want people like me to know about it because it is a super moon. So there's extra moon energy, extra sun energy, and now there is extra solar energy on top of it being a super moon. So now is the time definitely to be out in nature. Now is the time to be grounded. This is a Saturn influence. Saturn is all about nature. Saturn is an earth element. So it's all about grounding. It's all about pentacles. It's all about your coin. Okay. So this is what's hitting the planet right now. And this is the energy that we have to absorb into our melanated being, into our light body. And the way we do that is by going outside. You melanated people got to stop being scared of the sun. Go outside, get a little darker. You know what I'm saying? I know some places do have a heat wave out west, so you can't stay out that long. That's understandable, obviously. You know what I'm saying? But go out in the shade, go out in the park. You know what I'm saying? Take the kids out. And if you can't do it today, do it sometime within the next 3 days. You know, the next 3 to 4 days. There's a super moon and the solar flare, so it's going to be a very intense time. There's going to be a lot of energy on the planet. Not only, again, Pluto's going retrograde, we talked about Jupiter going retrograde in Pisces. So there can be a time to where, now Pisces is ruled by Neptune. So it could also be a time where things are very dreamy, where you are, for instance, lost in so-called, best way to say it, lost in the sauce, they say, right? Where you're just in a daydreamy, kind of loopy, maybe not being so focused. You may be experiencing that right now, right? It's hard to really get to your discipline, or it's hard to really manifest certain things, or it's hard to really stick to structures, right? So there is a battle, right? Jupiter and Saturn are aligned, right, in this. So there is a battle that is taking place within. The wings of Heru are needed, that divine willpower, in order to fight the battle. And this divine willpower is that my highest self rules over my decision to eat ice cream at 3 in the morning. My tub of ice cream because I'm stressed out. My higher self says that I'm gonna get up early, an hour early, and work out and do some script writing and journaling. These wings are that whatever my emotions feels, I'm tired, I'm still going to hit the gym. I'm still going to, oh, I don't feel like it. No, I'm still going to do my writing. Oh, I don't feel like it. Me, Rob Blackstorm. Oh, I'm not in the mood today. Nah, I'm still going to shoot that video. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going to do that live. Things like that. We got to get into the habit of programming ourselves, and the more we do it, then we have that emotional response. The reason you want to eat ice cream at 3 in the morning is because there's an emotional attachment to your eating ice cream and the comfort in it. The reason you're comfortable sitting on the couch being lazy and procrastinating is because there's an emotional attachment to that. One of the exercises that I want you guys to do, very powerful exercise, and I've been telling some of my clients this, is, well, not some, all, write out your life. Write out a story of your life. Write out a story of your life. And this is the way you're going to start your story. My name is Rob Watson. I was born October 3rd, XYZ. I was born Bronx, New York, year whatever. My mom is, my father is, boom. And start with your earliest memory. This process will allow you to see yourself for who you are. See some of the influences that are taking place in your life. If you're wondering, why do I do this? Or why do I do that? It's tied to your past. This is why shadow work is so important. This is why getting to that divine willpower, before you get to even this point, right? You got to hardwire your left brain. That's what your left brain, your analytical, your reasoning, your segregative, your words, right? You got to harness that with things that you say about yourself. So affirmations, right? Prayer is nothing but affirmations. That's it. So when you see people's prayers working, when they're praying to Jesus, grandmama, big mama, right? Pray to Jesus, miracles happen. That's basically the law of attraction. That's them praying, maybe praying in church where the emotions were raised, right? That emotional attachment, right? The law is going to work. If you put energy into anything, it's going to manifest, right? If you put energy into working out, you're going to have bigger muscles. If you put energy into a diet, you're going to lose weight. If you put energy into learning a skill, eventually you're going to learn that skill. It's all an energy game and an energy exchange at the end of the day. So whatever you're putting energy into is going to expand. It's going to grow. It's going to become Jupiter. It's going to become abundant. So it's very, 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 very crucial that we put energy into the things that we want to see manifest. Now, there's a shit ton of distractions. There's a shit ton of people in our lives, right? There's things that we've been through, but looking at our past, doing the shadow work, writing this story about yourself, going from your first memory. Start with 1. If you can't remember 1, start with 2, start with 3, then go down that. Do this for the next couple of days. You may not be able to get it all at once. Do it before bed, in particular. Do it in the morning. So this way you're able, when you're going into your dreams, or you're just coming out, or you're just waking up, you're able to re-examine the things that got you to where you are today, got you in the situation that you are. If everything's going well, great. You want things to go better. But if things are going bad, of course, you want things to go better too. So you need to figure out where these things come from, and writing a story where you're seeing where your habits come from, where how your mom affected you, how your dad affected you, how the person that, you know, unfortunately may have touched you, or the person that may have abused you, or the kid at school that bullied you, or the first girl that broke your heart, right? Why you a cold nigga right now, right? And the ladies, the first guy took advantage of you, so now you cold, right? These things, because abundance, believe it or not, comes from the heart's desire. Abundance comes from the heart chakra. You have to be of service in order to be abundant. Jeff Bezos is rich because he has Amazon. He's able to provide a service. He provides things 24 to 48 hours, right? I order something today, I'm going to get it by Friday, maybe tomorrow, Saturday, right? This is how Amazon works. They provide a service. Bill Gates, rich, provides Microsoft, right? And a lot of these businesses, you look at like something like Sears, Woolworth, J.C. Penney's, McDonald's, these are all started via family, right? Even if you look at the secret societies, the Rothschilds, right? The people that get inducted into secret societies, their family, they call themselves brothers, right? And sisters, right? So that they could come together. At one time, and people still do, but I feel like I get called brother the most when somebody wants some money out of me, right? If I'm walking down the street, hey, brother, I'm like, I ain't got it. Peace, Birdman. I'm like, I ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that they just want some bread. If you're here, please hit that like button. So I ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? But most of it, and it depends. Sometimes I'll give somebody a couple dollars here. Another thing about abundance, let me say this before I even take this sip. You got to be able to, but abundance comes from my eye, right? Let me do this. Abundance comes from my eye. And what do I mean by my eye? So this is, I've kept this picture up. And this picture is very important. Not only, so once you have this willpower engaged, right, there's going to be, the next step is really to enact discipline, cut things off, right? Move forward with new people, move forward with new vigor, move forward with new networks, new ideas, right? Your wings are up. You're seeing things from a bird's eye view. You're now able to decode movies. You're now able to look at TV shows and see what's not right. You're now able to look at people and see who fits your lifestyle and who doesn't, right? You are what they call, quote unquote, woke, right? But not woke how they say where you just got information. Because information isn't enough. There's a lot of people that we know that have information that is wicked as hell, right? That have no morals, no scruples, no principles. But once you have divine willpower, your divinity is about you tapping into your higher self, your highest will. And really your highest will is peace of mind. You want to manifest, you want to tap into this money magic, you want to tap into abundance for peace of mind. You don't want to have to worry about the bills. You don't want to have to worry about, you know what I'm saying, how you're going to pay your rent. You don't want to have to worry about how you're going to educate your children, or where you're, you know, or can you afford to take your children on certain things? How can you afford your car, your, you know, different trips, vacations, right? So you want to be tapped into the spirit of abundance for myriad of things, but the spirit of abundance is not only for just those things, but again, miracles happen in another realm. So you cut things off, you're severing things. This is when you are on the tree of life, the Kemetic tree of life, right? You could say this is, what do they call it on the Kabbalah? I believe it is, Tiferet. So you're going from Tiferet to Geburah, or we call this Herakuti in Voodoo or Yoruba, they call it Ogun, right? And you guys saw my last live tapping into Ogun energy. I still am, right? I still am. And that energy is about you tapping into your heart, right? This is Heru is your heart and earning your wings, but this is the activation, actually going forth, the cutting people off, the setting up new structures and things like that, right? And then you, after you go into that, right, which is a natural evolution of you earning your wings, now you're going into the Ma'at stage, right? Which what they would call Chesed, right? This is the Ma'at, or the Hindus call it Lakshmi. So this is Ma'at is tied into your abundance. On this particular picture, this scale is Ma'at, okay? The feather for Ma'at comes from Tahuti. Let me bring up Tahuti. You call him Thought, okay? Billy Carson, if you know who Billy Carson is, he has a book called um he has a book uh what is it? Shit. Emerald Tablets. Emerald Tablets of Thought, right? Thought is Tahuti, right? When you talk about the Kabbalion, the 7 Hermetic laws, law of mentalism, the law of polarity, laws of cause and effect, the law of gender, et cetera, the Kabbalion, which is, they say, is the 7 Hermetic laws, they're talking about this particular deity, Tahuti. Now, Tahuti is an ibis bird. The reason they use the ibis, right, is the beak looks like a sine wave, which is basically a brain wave. So a sine wave, if you ever looked at an EKG of someone who's trapped in a lie detector test, I know y'all watch them reality shows with the lie detectors on them, you see that you'll see the brain waves, right, going up and down. If they lie, they spike or whatever. So that is called the sine wave. So that's what the bill represents, that sine wave. Also, when the ibis bird sleeps, it folds its hand like this, making it a heart. So it looks like a heart. So again, abundance comes from the heart. Also, Tahuti, when you go, let's go back to this particular image. So Tahuti, the ibis's feather is represented by Tahuti. So this feather on Ma'at scale is Tahuti. And Tahuti, or thought, represents wisdom. This is not the wisdom you get from reading the Bible. This is not the wisdom you get from reading the Necronomicon. This is not the wisdom you get from reading Aleister Crowley. This is not the wisdom you get from reading P.B. Randall. This is not the wisdom you get from reading Anthony Browder. This is not the wisdom you get from watching your favorite YouTuber. This is the wisdom that comes from within, that comes from your ancestors, that tells you, yo, don't make this move. That tells you, yo, make this move. That tells you, yo, don't drive this place. That tells you, yo, you could start your business by doing this, or you have an idea. Oh, this is a unique way to pivot your business, or you meet somebody, right? And you are able to see how they could help you or how you can help them, right? So this wisdom, right, comes from within. It comes from your ancestors. And the heart is basically what you are doing here on this physical earth. So this is the mind and this is the body. This is the mind, this is the body. This is Ma'at. This is where you get the scales of justice and when you go to court and things like that. It comes directly from Ma'at. And Ma'at's ruling planet is also Jupiter, okay? I told you Jupiter is the biggest planet in the solar system. Jupiter is one of the planets when we were December 12th, the Great Conjunction, okay? So, and also Tahuti is also ruled by Jupiter as well. So these are the only 2 deities in Kemet that are ruled by the same particular planet, which is Jupiter, because you need wisdom in order to become abundant. You need wisdom to know how to move. You need wisdom for that. And wisdom comes from not just getting knowledge, not just visualizing it, but living it, but experiencing it. Again, getting inner downloads, right? Rationalizing, reasoning, right? If you look at Tahuti, again, he always has a book. He's always writing something out, okay? Because of the power of the word. You have 72 muscles, 72, and relative to your size and weight and the muscles that you have in your body, your tongue is the strongest muscle because it takes 72 muscles for your tongue to move. John 1:1 says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word and the Word was a God, and the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word became a God, right? So the Word becoming God is how you speak to yourself, how you speak things into existence, okay? The wisdom that you have in your mind, the perspective that you have of yourself, the perspective that you have of your abundance, the love that you have for the hood shit, the love that you have for the fuckery, the love that you have for being ghetto. And again, there's nothing wrong with these in different times and spaces. There's times that I'm ghetto, there's times that I'm down with the fuckery, all that, right? We're balanced people. But again, our default mode should always be in raising our frequency so we get in tune with divine wisdom. And we can get this heart as light as a feather. Your heart is also, the heart being light as a feather. This feather also deals with your conscience. It also deals with your conscience. How is your conscience? Your conscience will tell you everything you need to know about you. You wake up in the bed and you procrastinate, you're going to feel bad about it, okay? You didn't eat right, you're going to feel bad about it. You didn't do the things that you wanted to do, you're going to feel bad about it. Your conscience is always going to inform you of who and what you really are. Also, your dreams, right? If you know how to interpret your dreams will tell you if you've completed the journey or if you've mastered something, and your dreams will tell you if you haven't mastered something by how often they repeat. Okay? So dreams are very prophetic as well. That is that feather and that is that heart. But abundance is tied to this because, again, you want to be locked into opportunities. You want to be able to network with certain people. You want to be able to find money on the ground, which happens to me, okay? People who know me know that I'm lucky. You know what I'm saying? I'm a lucky person. You know, there's things that just happen to me out of the blue. But I'm not lucky just because I'm lucky. I'm lucky because my aura is lucky. I'm lucky because I took myself out of a poverty mindset. I'm lucky because I told myself and tell myself on a repetitive basis, I'm abundant. Money comes to me easily. I don't work hard for money. And it happens. It comes. I find wallets. I find money in the street. I hit scratch-offs. You know, these things are documented. I have videos about this, okay? All right. Is it always where things always go well? Of course not. Life is up and down. You know what I'm saying? You're always trying to balance this scale. But again, it's what is your heart's desire? Is your heart trapped in wisdom? Is your desire to be wise? They say that's what Solomon's greatest. Solomon asked, in the Bible says Solomon asked for God for wisdom. He didn't ask for money. And therefore, everything was granted to him. All the money, all the riches, all the concubines, everything was granted because he didn't want anything but wisdom. So therefore, his heart's desire, and we all know those who deal with the Kabbalah, all right, or if you know anything about Freemasonry, it deals particularly with, thank you, Dark Magic, Mr. Real Estate. What's up? Long time no see, bro. It deals with particularly with, damn, I lost my thought. Hold on. Let me get something to drink, y'all. I'm taking this little mini break. Light up. Also, another thing, you want your, you know, this is my symbol, Ankh in the pyramid, you know, representing life and rising to life. You want to ritualize your water, where you get your water and your drinks from. You know what I'm saying? Program it, because you're mostly made of water. Those of you who follow me know I've talked about this before, but if you're new here, you're mostly made of water. So ritualize your water. Another thing. Oh, let me finish this real quick. So Anubis, right? And this is a bigger version of, this is just a smaller version of this. I'll get into that a little bit. But for time, I don't want to make this super, super long. But this particular, so Anubis, when you're looking at Anubis, right? Anubis deals with the underworld, right? And the reason it deals with the underworld is, sorry about that, somebody's outside rocking in New York. But Anubis deals with the underworld. So he deals with the underworld is just your inner self. The underworld is the darkness within. The underworld is your subconscious mind, right? You don't have to make it any more complex than it is. The reason a dog was used, because remember, these deities have animal heads because they represent the animal that is within you. The animal nature that is within you. You have animalistic, zoomorphic, which is why your zodiac is a lot of times animals. You have zoomorphic principles. These represent different things. So Anubis, right? Or what you would call, really, if you want to get deep, the dog star, right? Well, we won't get into that today, but that's related. Anubis is related to the dog star. Deals with when you have the programming, the verbal and linguistic programming that you need to do in the underworld, the way that you need to speak to yourself, the way that you need to talk to yourself. If you notice, you can program a dog easily through verbal commands, okay? Dogs are also emotional. So if if a dog that's the dog's close to dies, that dog will actually cry. Okay, that dog will actually cry if one of his homie dogs cries. I've seen it, and some of you have as well. So dogs are also very emotional, but they're programmed via verbal cues. You know what I'm saying? And that's what guides their emotions. So this is all how you're thinking, which is really the key to balancing the scales. That's what this is trying to tell you. All right, and we'll go into this. So this is what it would look like. This is the from the Egyptian coming forth book of coming forth by day, which you may call the Egyptian book of the dead. And I've talked about this in the past, but again, you see this is the initiate. This will be you or me, right? This is at the time of death, right? The ancestors, of course. This is your bloodline of ancestors, okay? That'll be there. This is the time of your death, okay? This is Tahuti, okay? Your wisdom, how you're thinking, your ideas, your connection to your ancestors, your connection to your divinity. This is all related to this Saturn, this and this abundance energy, by the way, okay? This Jupiter energy, because again, Tahuti is ruled by Jupiter. The scale of Ma'at, okay? So Ma'at, you see this is again another Jupiter placement, abundance, expansion, growth. The heart, the feather, which we already know is from Tahuti, represented wisdom and a lightness of your conscience, not being weighed down by the stresses of the day, by the problems, being able to rise above and always seek your higher self, even if you're going through the worst. Even if you're going through the worst. Think about this. We were taught that George Washington discovered America. And we believed that for years, right? We believed that Jesus was Lord for years, right? We believed, even though we didn't know this man's history from 13 to 33, right? We believed that Jesus is Lord and Jesus is the ruler of all things. We really sincerely believe, and some of y'all that's watching this still do. No judgment if you do, you know what I'm saying? All I ask is that make sure your Jesus looks like you, if that's the route you want to go. You know what I'm saying? But we were trained on the Jesus. So we were trained to believe that something outside of ourselves is going to save us. Not only do we believe that Jesus died for our sins and that Jesus will always save us, but we also believe that Jesus is going to come back again to save us again in the Armageddon or the rapture, right? So we're looking for saving not only while we're existing, but we're looking for saving while we're dead, right? This doesn't show that. This shows that you got to save yourself. This is you. Again, this is the wisdom, weighing it by the heart, right? The heart is on this. This is, you can't really see it, but there is basically a protection around the heart because you got to protect your heart. You can't give your heart to everyone. And that's where the divine willpower comes in, right? And the balancing. This is the wings of Ma'at right here. Okay. This particular coil is basically after the judgment, your energy showing you to be an Ausair. And an Ausair is, or Osiris, right, is basically, if you look at the Hulk, right, in Marvel, Hulk was hit with gamma rays, right? So gamma rays, if you look at science, actually, let's go into it real quick. I want to show y'all this. Shout out to y'all who's still here. The 34 of y'all, please hit that like button. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. All right, so gamma, okay. So if you look, you can see the frequencies, right? And let's look at this real quick. Nope, I'm not accepting. Let me see what this says. All right. So it says, let's look at this. Okay. So this is good. Because this is the frequency that you want to constantly be in tune with. And another fun science fact, when the earth hits, when these solar flares hit the earth, right? These doses of plasma, and again, your blood has plasma. So if the sun is splitting out plasma and your blood has plasma, I mean, that tells you the correlation, that light is literally illuminating your bloodline, right? You're becoming enlightened, right? So the light is going within, you're enlightened, okay? So it says, what are gamma brainwaves? Picture yourself deeply immersed in a complex project or fascinated by a lecture from a noted subject matter expert. Me. You are alert and highly focused. You may even be sitting on the edge of your seat. Your brain is, as the old expression goes, firing on all cylinders. What happens is your brain is producing gamma waves. Gamma waves are the fastest brain waves produced inside your brain. If a doctor were to put electrodes on your head and hook them up to a machine to graph the resulting electrical activity, a process known as an electroencephalo, EEG, the waves would be very high frequency. Gamma waves tend to measure above 35 hertz. So those of you, if you have a frequency generator on your phone, I've talked about this before, but it's been a while. So let me pull this up. Something I usually have running. I don't have it running today, but now that I'm talking about it, I'm actually going to turn it on in the background. But you could easily download this on your phone. Well, let me stop sharing so y'all can see it. Okay, this is a frequency generator. Right now, mine is on 33 hertz. Okay, you could download this for free. Download this for free on your app store. Okay, and you can have this playing in the background on your music to combat the they could put the tune the music to 440 instead of 432. Distort the brain to fuck with your brain waves. So you want to hack into that as well. So you have this playing in the background of your music. You can have it playing very low. Doesn't have to be loud or anything like that. It's a very subtle frequency. But going back to what I was showing you is, so these gamma waves, so when we're talking about becoming, so it says these waves would be very high frequency, okay? Very high frequency. So going back into this, right? The Hulk got hit with gamma rays, right? The Incredible Hulk. Most of y'all know who I'm talking about, the Incredible Hulk from Marvel. And he is green, okay? So when you're talking about Osiris or Osir, notice he is green. He is green. So that means that you are now higher dimensional, higher frequency, high vibrational, right? When you are tapped into this gamma wave frequency. This is where your downloads come from. This is where your downloads come from. This is when you have peace of mind because you're getting constant downloads from your ancestors, okay? Shows you right here. And this is why I tap into Kemetic science and Kemetic mysticism more than anything, because not only is it spiritual, but to me, it all makes sense and it's scientific. And everybody else got their shit from us. You know what I'm saying? They got this shit from us. You can say the Sumerians and all that, but again, the Sumeria didn't have a north and south. Okay, Sumeria didn't have these great architectural advancements. Sumeria don't have signs and symbols and pharaohs and priests and colors that still exist till now. Okay, so we really gotta watch why people are taking us away from this history. Okay, why people are taking us away from who we truly are. So it's our emotional responsibility towards our ambition. Okay, and that's what this is basically dealing with: your heart, your conscience, your emotions. What are you thinking about? What's fueling you, what your wisdom is. This is all you. You write this down. Okay, this is your brainwaves. These are your brainwaves. Okay, these are your brainwaves. You write this down. You create this. You get this. Okay, depending on how much you are tapped into your ancestor, and the best way to tap into your ancestors is through meditation, is through going within. They will start to talk to you, and also, of course, let me tap into some of y'all comments. And also, of course, doing work. Doing the work to become better. So your emotions have to be geared towards what you want. And once you have these emotions geared towards what you want, once you hardwire these in the brain, and these 3 days, these next couple of days, right, are very important. Very important for us to tap into this. Very important to us to write these scripts, these meditation scripts. You can write these things out on what you want to achieve. And when you're doing a meditation script, with the things you want to have, well, of course, write down your stories, right? Do your stories, but write down meditation scripts. You want to visualize yourself with whatever you're struggling with, whatever you have a challenge with. You want to have an affirmation. Okay, so say you need money, or you're trying to move, or you're trying to get something. Have an affirmation. Okay, I am abundant. Good things happen to me. Or I'm moving into a beautiful new home. or I'm abundant. And then you have a picture of yourself enjoying your new home. You have a vision of yourself enjoying your new car. You have a vision of yourself enjoying your new business, right? And the more you hardwire these things, the more you put these things into existence, right? The more these things will manifest. But you don't want just fly by night things. You want to create, again, an abundance aura. So while you're trying to manifest these physical and these tangible things, you also want to be a person that is giving as well. Because money and currency is an exchange. You can't just be looking to get. You have to be of service. You have to create a business. You have to have something to sell. You have to, if you're working your job, where can you be better at your job? What better job can you get? What skills do you need to learn to become better at your job? What skills do you need to learn to become a better entrepreneur? What schools do you need to go to? This is you being responsibility, you being emotionally responsible for yourself. This is divine willpower. This is not willpower that you can get from church. This is not willpower you can get from a motivational speeches, because those things are temporary. Those things give you an emotional high, right? And that emotional high, you might do something for 1 day, 2 days, and then it's gone. This is about being consistent. Okay, this is about moving your willpower, moving towards your emotion of your higher will, and you being able to avoid things that take you away from your higher purpose. And then the money, and then the women, the men, and then the love, and then all these things start to come to you. So what you want to do is tap into some of these money deities. I'll get off of this soon. I've been talking for a while. Shout out to y'all who've been staying with me. I appreciate it, for real. Oh, Lucy Bean, thank you for the donation. I do appreciate it. Master All, I appreciate you. So let's get into, I know y'all want to get into some of these meats, so let me get into the money deities. Now that we discussed what's going on, now that we know we got to go out into some nature, now we got to know we got to absorb some of the sun, now that we know that we have to write out a story for ourselves, now that we know that we have to start writing meditation scripts and how to do them, now that I've given you tools on how to meditate, let me give you another tool. This is a great book by Billy Carson. Shout out to Billy Carson. Well, it's back. Oh, I got it backwards. Well, you know, camera, but Woke Doesn't Mean Broke by Billy Carson. Very, very good book. I'm just opening. Healthy control of spending. I paved the road to financial security by controlling my spending. Use this self-affirming language to teach your thoughts a new habit. I just opened the book. In times where most families are struggling to make ends meet, I consider myself fortunate to have financial security. By controlling my spending habits, I minimize our bills and make a considerable contribution to our savings account every few weeks. I can remember a time when I found myself living paycheck to paycheck. I had to worry about how I would scramble together to pay my electric bill or buy food. Now, however, I am free from that sense of panic and financial responsibility. The same way you deluded yourself into thinking that George Washington found America, the same way you deluded yourself into thinking that Thanksgiving was a celebration for Indians, right? The same way we deluded ourselves into these false narratives and believed them and hardwired them emotionally into our psyche. The same way you probably feel fear when a cop is behind you and you're scared and shook, right? Because of the emotions that's been hardwired from you watching all these police brutality videos, right? Is the same way you have to delude yourself into believing the things that you cannot see. 99% of the universe is invisible. We see less than 1% of the universe. So what's invisible is way more powerful than the visible. Our imagination is way more powerful than what we see in this physical world. Mind moves matter, not the other way around. Mind moves matter. So, great book. Y'all love books, so I want to bring this up to y'all. You can definitely order this. I think it's on Amazon. I bought this when it first came out. Great tool. Chapters have everything on there to get not only your mind right, but get your money right and get through some things. So I wanted to bring this up to y'all. Okay. So there's a lot of money deities. Let's go into some of them. And these are deities that you could tap into. If you can't buy the actual statue, don't worry about it. Just print it out. Like, don't waste a whole lot of money. If you don't have no printer, or you can't get to a Staples to print it out, don't worry about that either. Put it as a screensaver. Put it as your screensaver. If you can't do that, right, draw a picture of the deity the way you see fit. Again, this is about using your imagination, not buying a whole bunch of shit to go broke. Okay, so this is Lakshmi. Okay, Lakshmi is a money deity, a Hindu money deity, Hindu goddess of wealth, love, and prosperity. Okay, print it out. Okay, print out an image that you see fit. There's plenty of images of Lakshmi. Okay, you could tap into Lakshmi. What I want you to do with these particular deities, if you print out a picture, if you are well, not really a screensaver, but you could do this as well. Again, it's about using your imagination. Your imagination, Magic Nation. So that's your Magic Nation. Your Magic Nation is your thoughts, the nation of thoughts, right? The nation of Tahuti, thought, Thot, Thoth, right? Tahuti is called thought. So thoughts come from thought or thought, which is really Tahuti. That's where the word thoughts come from, right? That sine wave. So your thoughts, right? Your vibration, your frequency is aligned. And so let's just say this, right? Let's say you print this out, or let's say you buy Lakshmi, right? Or let's say I highly recommend printing it out if you can. If you can buy the actual statue, you could do that as well. If you are using your screensaver, again, you could use that as well. But what I want you to do, I prefer you printing this out or having the actual thing, or yeah, either one. Either you could use either one of those tactics, right? If you're working with any of these deities, what I want you to do is every day give a couple pennies. You could give dollars if you want, but give a couple pennies to your deity, right? When you're working with these deities, this is not about you. When you're working with these deities, this is not about you this is not like Jesus thing where you're praying to something outside of yourself, where you're looking for something outside of yourself to save you. Where you're like, oh, Lakshmi, please come save me. Oh, Lakshmi, please bless me with money. Oh, no. You're working with this energy. Lakshmi is a particular energy that millions of people are tapped into, millions of people are working with, and you're tapped into that energetic frequency, the energy matrix, just like you have a unique energy matrix. No one is like you. Lakshmi has a unique energy matrix. You're tapping into that energy matrix and you are embodying it. So that means when you are petitioning this deity, guess what? You got to do some work too. You got to put some work in. You got to get on your grind. You got to look for opportunities for money. Look for opportunities to marketing. Look at how you could get a better career. Look at how you can advance in your job. Look at how maybe you need to create new structures, new discipline in your life. You have to tap into this abundance energy. And one of the ways you can do this is basically just give offerings, right? And the offerings, give some pennies. You know what I'm saying? Every day, whatever new idea for new discipline, whatever idea for new structure, whatever idea for new expansion, whatever idea that's new in your life, put some pennies. You could do that 4 times a day, 6 times a day. I recommend in the morning and at night. Put some pennies on there. You know what I'm saying? If you got a candle, which we'll get into in a session, you know what I'm saying? In a second. Same thing. Put some pennies next to it. You're going to do this until we go into a new moon cycle. Okay? And if the candle goes out, don't worry, right? Because you're going to have something like this to work with. Okay? So you could work with Lakshmi. That's one money deity. Okay? You could work with who else? And that's a very simple way of being in tune. When you're giving to the deity, actually, because I want y'all to see what I'm saying. When you give to these deities, right, you are giving essentially to yourself. When you're putting a penny or you're putting a dollar or you're putting something on your altar, you are giving to yourself. Remember, it's an exchange. So don't look at it as something outside is saving you or some other God is coming down to, oh, do this. No, you are meant to invoke this energy. This Lakshmi is you. Okay, these deities that I'm giving you is you. So when you're giving these offerings, when you're putting these pennies by this candle or putting these pennies by this deity, you know what I'm saying? Or petitioning it, you are petitioning that which is within you. There is no separation. It is an exchange. You are stardust. You are made of everything in the universe. This is a scientific fact. All right. So, yes, Flex said I'll draw the deities and hang them on my wall. Yeah. Shout out to Flex. Let me touch on that for a minute. That is great. Okay. All cultures, actually, that will go into my next thing. All cultures except the American nigger, except the American nigger has some sort of, and the poor white boy too. They have some sort of money magic. Okay. They have some sort of money magic. Okay. It's going to I want to show y'all. They call this the Manetti Neko. Okay. All right. If you've gone into the next time you go into your local Chinese store, you get your chicken wings and fried rice, right? You'll see this. In 99.9%, you're going to see this Chinese money cat, the Maneki Neko. Okay. This is in all of their stores. Okay. They either have this or they'll have a Ganesha. Okay. And they usually have money on some coins around it. You got to have some luck, some juju in your home. You got to have some money juju in your home, and not just doing this challenge, but on a repetitive basis. You should have things in your home, things in your business, in your storefront, things around your desk that remind you of abundance. You should be doing rituals for abundance on a consistent basis. You should tap into that aura of abundance on a consistent basis. Consistent basis. There are people who do rituals every Thursday because Thursday is Stores Day. So they're dealing with the power. It's really kind of a Heru day, but they're dealing with the power of activation, right? The power of making things manifest and making things happen and creation. And there's a lot of people that are in the so-called esoteric, right? This mystical community that do rituals every Thursday. You could do that too, right? But, you could also have something like this in your house. I ordered one, you know what I'm saying, recently. So I'm waiting for it to come. But this is something that millions of people in China use as a way. They're in our hood. They're in our neighborhood with these cats. So why aren't we tapped into energy? Jesus ain't good enough. If you want to become a carpenter, then yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you work in construction and you're a carpenter, then tap into the Jesus sigil for abundance. You know what I'm saying? Pray to Jesus for your money. But if all you got in Jesus in your home and every other culture, right? I just showed you Hindu. I just showed you the Chinese, right? Let's get into Ganesha a little bit. But all these other cultures have money magic. And we still, the American Negro, is working with Jesus. It's crazy. Oh, it's crazy. And we wonder why we are in the place that we're in, while the secret societies and everything else, all right, while the secret societies and everything else are tapped in. Another deity you could work with. And again, you could print these things out or use a screensaver, right? Use a screensaver for your computer. Sure. Use it for your laptop, your tablet. You know what I'm saying? You go on your laptop and tablet. Again, this is about your imagination. Put the pennies right next to your laptop. Put the pennies right next to your tablet. Put the dollars. Shit, if you don't got pennies, you don't got dollars. Shit, use matches. Whatever represents, again, money is what you say it is. Currency is what you say it is. Just like I gave you the example of Dogecoin earlier. It's what you agree upon as. So use your imagination. When you're playing Monopoly, you're playing with paper money, but it seems real as hell, right? You don't want to lose that game of Monopoly because it is what you say it is. All right. Another deity you could tap into, Ganesha. Okay. You can tap into Ganesha. Ganesha is another money deity. Again, print it out, pull up a picture, same thing. Pennies, coins, because that copper, all right? That resonator of energy. This is the time. This is what these retrogrades are for, family. You're not going to get what you want in a capitalist country without capital. You're not going to get freedom, justice, and equality without food, clothing, and shelter, without having your basics covered. How can you want to build a building without first having the foundation set up? And the foundation is currency. Currency is energy. We need currency. We need businesses. We need businesses. And we need for us to stop being distracted by by racism, by what's going on in the world, by this distraction, by that distraction. And we need to focus on implementing these spiritual principles first and foremost in ourselves, right? Then in our family, right? And then get busy on enterprise, get busy with advancing in our jobs, get busy in doing well in school, get busy in creating something special, creating something magnificent. There's too many of us that are sitting on talent that are not expressing it, that are not putting it out because we're scared of being judged, because we're scared of making the move, because it's too hard, because we're procrastinating. The energy right now at this planet is saying it's go time. It's go time. You have the ability to go. You have the ability to make it happen. You have the ability to make it manifest. The energy, the retrogrades, everything right now is saying get your bag, get your money. But while you getting your money, create the aura, heal your childhood trauma. Pluto retrograde, destroy certain things. Okay, Saturn retrograde, implement new structures, new discipline, new way of life, new people, right? Networks. You know what I'm saying? Protect yourself, love yourself. You know what I'm saying? Jupiter retrograde, expansion. How's the expansion look like in your life? What are the people around you helping you expand? What's the neighborhood you're in helping you expand? Do you need to move? Do you need to change relationships? Do you need to forge new relationships? Do you need to let go of a relationship, right? How was your expansion? How was your abundance looking? How does your life look? Your life will tell you. Okay, your life will tell you. And if it's not the way you want it to look, what do you need to do to change it? What do you need to implement to change it? Okay, these are the retrogrades that we're under. And again, Mercury's going direct, and we're about to have a Neptune retrograde. So the battle really now, even though all this energy is in the air, because we're about to go into a Neptune retrograde in a couple of days, I think tomorrow, either tomorrow or Saturday, that retrograde is going to also have us in, because Jupiter retrograde is always in Pisces and Pisces are ruled by Neptune, it's also going to have us where we could easily tap into escapism because we're trying to accept the responsibility of earning our wings and looking at things from a bird's eye view. Heru also is represented by the phoenix. There's a story of the phoenix, a Commission story of the obelisk or a Tekken, right? Which the Washington Monument is an obelisk taken from Kemet or Egypt, and of the phoenix rising from the Benben stone in the morning. So basically, rising from the ashes of the Benben stone in the daytime, getting hit with a light, and fighting during the day, flying during the day, right? And at night, turning back into ash and settling in the Benben stone. And this deals with the ashes basically at night is going back, going within, not dealing with physical movements and things when you're sleeping, going into the subconscious mind, tapping in, meditation, right? Visualization, self-hypnosis, these things. And the phoenix or the Heru represents your day-to-day life. That blaze, that fire within that candle top, right? I told you this represents you, your divine mind, the light of the candle. And this is representative of your body, the wax, right? There's you, which is where the letter I, the dot, the letter I, right? You see the I and has the dot on top, right? So the letter I, head, body, representing I, right? Where it comes from. So this is representing of you, again, tuned into this higher self where your emotions are no longer guided by the world, no longer guided by family, no longer guided by friends, no longer guided by society. You know what I'm saying? Those of us who are tapped into this Heru, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. 2020 told me who would have been a slave who would have been a willing slave, right? 2020 told me who you were during slavery. I know who you would be during slavery by how you acted during 2020. Were you quick to wear the mask? Were you quick to put on the jab, take the jab, right? Did you stay in the house the whole time, right? I know who you would be based on how quick you followed once shit hits the fan. I don't care how spiritual you said you are, how much magic. If you disappeared on everybody during this time, you didn't have no guidance and no help for people or whatever to guide them through this, and you just came back to your spirituality once things got better, then if you couldn't help during when shit was hitting the fan, then why are you coming out after and trying to help now? Like, come on. Now, maybe it hit you know what I'm saying? But again, if you were tapped into your Heru, hey, your ancestors kind of told you that or prepared you for things that were about to take place through subliminal messaging. I went back in how my whole diet changed in January. I've talked about that in the past, right? But also, you were able to, again, look at things from a bird's eye view and say, it's interesting that 5G towers come, and then all of a sudden 5G towers come, there's something called the Rona, right? It's interesting that they're saying wear a mask, don't wear a mask, wear a mask, don't wear a mask, stay 6 feet, don't stay 6 feet. You got to wear a mask, but I see politicians having meetings and going to spas and all that, not wearing a mask, right? That's bird's eye vision. That's being able to see from, that's where your emotions are not tapped into what they're telling you. The fear that uncertainty, what they call FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that the media is feeding you. Your emotions are always tapped into your higher self, looking beyond the veil. Okay? That's earning your wings. So I just want to tap into that. I don't know what sparked me, but let's get more into what's up doing our thing though, and get more into these money deities. Yeah, I took half day off for y'all, so y'all better love me to do this, but I feel like it's important. So let's go into some more money deities. It's gonna be a long video. I don't care. Okay, because it's important. Those of you who are here, if you are here again, hit that like button and subscribe. All right, so again, this is Ganesha, another deity you could deal with. Get your money right. Okay, again, another deity that a lot of people are tapped into in the East. Okay, and make your money work as far as, okay, look, Ganesha, the Hindu god of success. That's really all you need to know, okay? The son of Shiva. Shiva is Haru or Horus, by the way. Indian culture, Vedic culture, a lot of that is stolen Egyptian mythos, okay? I'll do a video on that. A lot of Vedic culture is definitely stolen Egyptian mythos down to the deities that had the symbolism. You could all trace it back to ancient Egypt or ancient Kemet. So it says, he is the Lord of success, destroyer of evils and obstacles. Worship is the god of education, wisdom, and wealth. All right, so basically he's tapped into Tahuti energy, educational wisdom, and wealth, which is that Ma'at energy. And again, Ma'at is about reciprocation. Ma'at is also about love. Heart weighed by a feather is dealing with love as well. What love really is empathy. When you have empathy for someone, you give without expecting to receive anything in return. Now, we've all gave to people who didn't deserve it, right? But that's what's love. When you love somebody, you want to give to them. You want to see them prosper. You want to see them have nice things. You want to see them happy. That's love, giving without really seeking anything in return. Now, if somebody gives it. Now, we all know people, there's an old trick where people will be like, I love you, right? And they'll say, I love you, and then ask for something. Or they'll profess their love and then, want something. That's not real love. If you need something in return, then that's not love. If you think about it, your children, you don't need anything from them to love them. You don't need anything from them to give to them. If you really love your children, right? You give to them from the heart. So we need to really reevaluate what love is. So if you cannot give to people, if you're stingy, if you're tight with your money, if you don't help anybody, if you can't give somebody homeless $1, I talk about this all the time, then you really ain't shit. Nah, let me not say you're not shit, but you need to change, okay? Because you got to give to get. Again, stock market is called an exchange for a reason. Money has to be exchanged for a reason. It's currency, and it goes, like Lion King said, the cycle of life, okay? Which is Ma'at, again, balancing the scale. Let's go into some more money deities. So Ganesha, Ganesha's big, right? Lord of success. So definitely one of the things you want to print out of order. And these things, again, if you get the statues, like Nikita Black says, she's about to order one now. You know what I'm saying? If you can order the statues and get them and have them in your home, great. It's even better. In Kemet, right? If you look at ancient Kemet, they always had things to remind them. There was tekins, there was pyramids, there's paintings, there's statues, always things to remind them of their divinity, of their higher self. of their abundance, of their greatness. Okay, this is why Washington D.C. looks like Egypt. Okay, this is why it looks like Kemet. And there's a good book. Let me see if I have it here. You can get into. Do I have it here? I took some books out for y'all. I don't have it here, but it's a book by, actually, let me pull it up. It's a book by Anthony Browder. Anthony Browder is one of the best. If you want to understand symbolism, one of the best books you could get. Egypt on, there we go. Egypt on the Potomac. Well, this is a very small picture, but let's see if I can find a bigger one. Also, another good book. I have both of these books too. Nile Valley Contribution of Civilization by Anthony Browder. Okay, very, very good books. Not too expensive. I think I paid $20 for this. But get these books because they're going to be super expensive. But Egypt on the Potomac will break down exactly what you're looking for when you're looking at Kemet, and this will break down. And he has other good books as well. But just to get an understanding. But yeah, this book is like $8. It's a very small book, but it will show you the different, how they basically Benjamin Banneker engineered Washington, D.C., and how it's a direct parallel to Kemet or Egypt in Washington, D.C., how they basically pattern everything, right, in order to harness the energy, because it's an energy game at the end of the day, all right? And you see America's plenty. They're plentiful. They got money. So one of the richest countries in the world, using your science, using your magic, and using your skill set. Another deity, another Cometian deity, okay? Someone I have worked with is, well, the energy actually is Bess, okay? Now, Bess is so Bess is, so it says Bess was an Egyptian dwarf god. He was a complex being who was born a deity and a demonic fighter. He was a god of war, yet he was patron of childhood and the home that was associated with sexuality, humor, music, and dancing. Those things sound like they happen when you are enjoying yourself, okay? Although he became as a protector of the pharaoh, he became very popular with everyday Egyptian people because he protected women and children above others, okay? It's a good image of Bess, okay? Now, this is where you get the modern day, this is where you get the quote unquote pygmy. This is, and you can do some research on this, don't believe me, this is where the first man, the original man, was first a pygmy, okay? Coming out of the water, so the evolution story to a degree, besides that whole Big Bang shit. But the evolution story that you were told to a degree is right. But the first man was a pygmy. The first man was a Bess. This deity of Bess is where you get leprechauns, right? If Bess, or you talk about the leprechauns, right, with the gold, those of you with NBA, you know, they got the mascot, Lucky, for the Boston Celtics. That is the leprechaun. The leprechaun comes from Bess. This Egyptian deity represented the pygmy, represented the first man. And as it says, it deals with family, the home, childbirth, and success. But all those things, the home needs money. Success with children, you need money to take care of them, right? You need finances. You need a certain degree of wisdom. And Bess is also a deity that dealt with gold coins. Okay, if you look on his hands, you see that he has flowers, lotus flowers, which basically means that the lotus plant, the sun has to hit it for it to open and expand. So this gold, so these particular, if yeah, if y'all with me, type of one. I want to make sure I ain't talking, too esoterically. So if y'all with me, please drop a 1 in the comments so I can see it while I take this sip. Okay. I see y'all. Peace to Hood Mystic. Okay. Straight Panther. Peace to Straight Panther. Okay. So what we're talking, so Bess, this particular deity, is a deity that, again, is the leprechaun. That's where he took the leprechaun from. This is where the Irish got it from. This is why if you look at the Celtic cross, let's do some more. So now you know who Bess is, right? B-E-S. Again, it's something you could, I told you, put on your altars, print out, get a statue if you can, okay? Dealing with that leprechaun, that lucky coin energy. And of course, all the gold is in, so quote unquote, Africa. We all know it's a Pangea at one time, so it's one big space. So I don't really romanticize Africa anymore because I understand that that is also dealing with separation and division and putting you in the black and white checkerboard, right? Where you're caught in positive and negative, or, Pan-Africanism and shit like that. And nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with loving your people and everything like that. But you need the whole world to love you. You need the whole world to love you, my nigga. You need black people, white people, Spanish people, people from all over the planet to love you. That is abundance. Okay, that is joy. When you get on a plane and it's a white pilot, and that white pilot gets you there safely, or when you're on a bus, right? There's no racism involved. You just want to get to where you need to be safely. You just want the person to take care of you, that's driving you or taking you on a flight or cooking your food or whatever, to treat you safely. So you want everybody to really love you. You don't want to be at odds with anyone. Now, self-love, true love, you are going to protect yourself. This is why a lot of times when you see pictures of Jesus, you'll see the crown of thorns, ancient pictures of Jesus, you see that crown, those thorns around the heart. Because when you love yourself, you protect yourself. When you love yourself, you put boundaries up. When you love yourself, you don't take no shit. When you love yourself, you assert yourself and go after your purpose, go after things that are going to make you happy. Not selfishly, but you know that you are here to be of service in some way, shape, or form, right? This is also a part of loving yourself. So you pursue that in that highest part of yourself, right? This is, again, emotions connected to your ambitions, rather emotions connected to your animal, okay? So dealing with Bess, again, is dealing with the leprechaun. That's where you get it from. So, Bess deals with them gold coins, baby. So you want to tap in. How many people have been tapping into the deity Bess, okay? How many people have reinvigorated this energy? We know the Irish have, okay? Let's look at, we know Ireland is pretty plentiful, right? They don't look like they're struggling here in America either. And I just want to show y'all how Kemetic influence. So the Celtic cross, ironically, looks like an ankh, okay? The Celtic cross, ironically, looks like an ankh, all right? Y'all see the Celtic cross, circle, bar, okay? Celtics, dealing with Boston Celtics again. And let me show y'all the ankh, if you don't know what the ankh looks like. Interesting. Circle and a cross, all right? So it's the same shit. Same shit. Okay? And let's look at the leprechaun. This is Bess. Okay? This is where they took this from. Little midget, right? Big ears, okay? Same kind of look. Big ears, gold looking, okay? His abundance is not just gold, but the lotus flower, the enlightenment that brings you the real gold, all right? So that's one, okay? And all these other cultures we also have For the Hebrews, right? Those of you who are in the Kabbalah, you know about Mammon. Okay. Now Mammon. Okay. So look, in the New Testament of the Bible, is commonly thought to mean money, material wealth, or entity that promises wealth and is associated with the greedy pursuit of gain. Okay. Now, sometimes, depending on the situation, if you've been procrastinating, if you've been bullshitting, and if you haven't made any moves towards your purpose, you may need to get a little greedy about your game. You may need to tap into this mammal energy to get more aggressive. Okay? So don't deny it because it says greedy and you're scared and shit like that. Nah, melanated people need to get more greedy. Okay? And there are images as well. Okay? Some of these are anime. Trying to find a good image. But again, do your own research. Don't believe anything I say or anybody says for that matter. Okay, and if you're dealing with the Yoruba, you could tap into, of course, Oshun, which will deal with your visualization. And, you know, some of you, everybody, well, most of y'all that may follow may be dealing with, may be familiar with Oshun, okay, dealing with money, dealing with a degree of vanity, a degree of looking good. When you look good, you feel good, peacocking energy, okay. And you got to feel good about your money. You got to feel good about being abundant. You got to feel like money's coming. When I say money's coming to me, I feel that shit. When I say good things are happening to me, I feel that shit. I snap it into existence. You know what I'm saying? I harness that shit. When I say people are coming into my life that are going to help me grow and expand, I feel that shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe those things aren't here now. Maybe these things haven't manifested yet. But I know by constantly invigorating and enlightening this aura that I will be able, by constantly giving offerings, right? By constantly being of service, by constantly making sure that I am not conditioned by this world or conditioned by my animal spirit, right? Another thing that just came to my conscience is, fellas, you know what I'm saying? But again, this looks like Beyonce. So I just noticed this version of Oshun looks like Beyonce, interestingly enough, right? But you could tap into Oshun. Damn, I had a thought that just came to me. Oh, fellas. Another thing y'all, especially men, y'all want to tap into, especially during this time period up until the new moon, tap into that. But it's shit, really beyond that. You want to tap into no fat around this time. If you are someone who is, you know, you've been sitting down, couch surfing, you know, reading all these books, not taking care of your physical body, which is how you radiate energy. Like, I know there's a lot of teachers, again, that don't talk about the physical and like, you know, you're more into your human, but again, you got to balance. The Taoists, the Commissions, we talk about balancing heaven and earth. Like, it's not just about being so spiritual that you let your physical body, which is your battery, literally, how you generate energy, and this is a big energy game, just go to shit. Like, how do you expect to be this big psychic, clairvoyant, mystic when, you know what I'm saying, your body is constantly fighting off fried chicken and heavy meats and toxic shit, toxic fucking cosmetics and toxic shit in your hair, and you know what I'm saying? And you know, just a host of other things we do that we don't balance it out. If you're a smoker, you need to get mullein. You need to start drinking mullein tea so you can clear your lungs. So your breath, which is the spirit of your life, your breath, you could breathe life into the things that you want to manifest with your meditations, with you speaking into mirrors, with you speaking into your water, things like that, right? This also puts you in abundance aura, okay? This also allows you to get your wings, okay? And see opportunities that others cannot see. So we went to my mom, we went into Oshun, but no fap is necessary, fellas, because again, it's about disciplining the body. It's about you becoming, let's get into this. This is another Commission principle. This is about you becoming Sphinx, okay? Now, this one get a good, okay, so this is a better picture. So if you notice, the Sphinx has the head of a man, the body of an animal. So again, like I told you, the Cometians or the Egyptians, they had the head of an animal. Okay, they dealt with animals, what they call zoomorphic principles, right? And so this head represents a man or a woman in control of their physical urges. The urge to diet wrong, the urge to say fuck that and procrastinate, the urge to always need company and friends in order to do things, the urge to not sit by yourself and constantly. There's some people who distract themselves all day or every day, and they distract themselves with their problems and their issues and other people's problems and their issues, right? There's an emotional connection to that. You got to see where that comes from. There's an animal within you, little motherfucking hyena or your monkey mind, right? That loves that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that part of writing the story about yourself, you'll see that. You know what I'm saying? Part of these meditation scripts, you'll see where that comes from. It'll come to you during your meditation. It'll download as your thoughts are going back and forth. And as you're meditating, again, you're not trying to, it takes years to where you could get to where you get blank spaces, to where you're totally not tapped into anything. You know what I'm saying? But you could still, during your thoughts, you can control alt delete. You know what I'm saying? That's where that Tahuti comes in. You're able to pick thoughts off. You're able to cut thoughts out. You're able to reprogram certain thoughts, reprogram certain images. And your mind will bring you there. So getting to that point is getting to the Sphinx. And no fat as a man allows you to control your body, allows you to not, okay, I'm going to just look at porn all day and deplete my energy. A lot of men out here, the reason that they can't achieve shit, the reason we can't compete, because really that's what this is. This is not about race. I've said this before, race is classism, right? If I have $1 billion and I'm black versus someone who has $1 billion and they're white, immediately because I'm black, the classism of race lowers me rather than the person who's white. That's classism. That's tied into racism, right? And that's what racism really is about. It's about classism. So that it can make the poor whites think that they are of higher class because they're white. So it's all a game, right? But this classism is really based on competition. You know what I'm saying? So if you have $1 billion and you're black and you have $1 billion and you're white, you both are technically the same, right? But competition is going to make you say, all right, this white motherfucker got $1 billion. I'm going to try to get 2 billion or 3 billion to get more than him. You know what I'm saying? Competition is that you're going to want to do better than someone of whatever race. You need wings to do that. You need to be able to see past emotionalism and get on your business and get on your discipline and get on your grind in order to do that. Again, the energy is here. This is why I'm talking about this now. And this is why Spirit is having me talk about this for as long as I am, I believe, because it's this important. This time period is so fucking important, especially for what's to come. I believe that there's going to be a second lockdown coming with them talking about this Delta variant with the Rona. You know what I'm saying? We need to be prepared. What do you have another source of income? If you have a job, are you going to be able to work remote? Are you going to be out of work? Are you going to be an essential worker working when everybody's working? Do you want to be an essential worker? Right? These things matter. Do you love your job? Do you love what you're doing? And if you don't, do you have something else that you're doing, your hobby, where you're able to make money out of it? Or you're able to make something, an extra dollar here or there? Or do you have a business that you're starting that you're trying to blow up? You need to learn marketing, and you need to learn this, and you need to learn that. Your head being over your animal nature, your animal urges for lust, your animal urges for distraction, your animal urges for fuckery. And this is not about perfection. Life is yin and yang. You're going to go through ups and downs. But at the end of the day, this head always has to be over over the body. The mind has to be over matter. And no fat is going to get you to that point to where you're able to, because women do this shit all the time, okay, where you'll be on the first date or whatever, or be out with her. She'll be like, no, I'm persuadable. And you know she wants it, and you know you want it, right? But she's making you wait. You know what I'm saying? That's discipline, mind over body. That's mind over body. And as men, we need to have that. We need to be able to control our body. And not only that, no fat just gives you more energy. It gives you more manifestation power. You have that colostrum, which is that white, silky substance that literally goes through your brain, the crown of your brain. I've talked about this many times. You can look that up for yourself. The crown of thorns that you have in your brain, this colostrum that illuminates every time the sun is in your moon sign, right? The moon is in your sun sign, so to speak, right? You have a lunar return, and so forth and so on. So you want to get into the point, and this is where we're all trying to achieve. We're trying to master ourselves and master our urges and master our animals, the animals within ourselves. All right, this is the goal. This is peace. This is what peace looks like. This is what peace looks like. This is what peace looks like. These different parts are this part, these different, this little band around the head represents frequency, vibration, okay? Energy that is resonated. Okay, if you look at the sarcophagus, for time, I won't get into that. Let's get back into, because I'll be here all day. And so let's get back into a little bit of the deities. Another deity you could run with. And there's many, I'm just giving you some, right? You could work with the Sphinx too. I worked with the Sphinx in the past. Okay, you can work with the Sphinx too if you need to overcome some things. Take this image into your meditations. Have this around your home. Print a picture out, put it up, right? As a reminder. Again, you're trying to make your home, your business place, the place where you do your things, as majestic and as mystical as ancient Kemet. As majestic and as mystical as so-called Stonehenge is. You want your home to be like that. Because when you get out in the world, you may not necessarily be able to do that. You want something in your car to represent your highest purpose and your highest self, right? I myself keep some Hydron in my wallet. Represents abundance, represents strength. It represents luck, right? Hydron root. Something you could get as well, okay? Another thing you could get is, while I'm thinking about it, let me go into, actually, I don't remember because I got it in my hand. So let's go into another money deity you want to get into from the Yoruba, okay? Olokun. Okay, Olokun. You can type into Olokun. And you notice he is surrounded by water because water represents flow or flow state, okay? And Olokun is what gives you Ajay. And Ajay is your blessing, your abundance, that's what he represents, okay? The giving of Ajay. Okay, Ajay Olokun, the goddess of wealth, is among the loved Arisa out of the 401 gods that is being worshipped. The main capacity and strength of the goddess of wealth is to provide sufficient wealth and greater economic benefits for whoever worships her. Okay, so it's telling you right here. All right, it's telling you right here. And again, you can tap in to, and again, do deeper dives, because I'm just giving you a short dive, but do deeper dives into this. You know what I'm saying? And last but not least, you could work with who we've been talking about all this time. You could work with my aunt. Okay, you could work with my aunt. Okay, I am healthy and balanced. I am always in a state of grace. It's easy for me to see all sides of a situation. The divine order of the universe supports me in health and happiness. It is easy for me to be fair, honest, and impartial. My life is balanced within and without. My life is harmonious. Sounds like abundance to me. Healthy and balanced. That means my body is in good shape. You know what I'm saying? I'm always in a state of grace. That means I'm always thinking high vibration. I'm always thinking grace. I'm always in a state of gratefulness and gratitude. It is easy for me to see all sides of a situation. I can see the haters and I know what the haters are for. And I can see the people that are supporting me and I know what they're for. And I'm not mad at either of them because I know they both serve a purpose. The divine order of the universe supports me in health and happiness. So the universe is always trying to make sure that I am okay. The universe is always putting challenges and people in my life that are here to propel me forward. The universe is always has my back and has my best intentions. Even if they come in the form of challenges or negativity, I am here to overcome those things and become the God, because in order to become a God here on earth, I have to battle and fight bosses, right? I have to overcome challenges. I have to master myself. Okay, it is easy for me to be fair, honest and impartial. Okay. If I'm fair with other people, I won't treat them bad. If I am honest, I will tell the truth. I'll keep my word. People could depend on me. If I am impartial, I'm not going to take the fact that I love Sheila, right? The fact that I love Sheila over the fact that Sheila might have stole from Candy, right? And just because I don't like Candy and she may be a hood bug or whatever, but the fact that I love Sheila and Sheila stole, I'm gonna still tell Sheila she was wrong for stealing from Candy. That's being impartial. That's following truth. That's following divinity. That's following divine willpower, and that's the cosmic harmony. Once you do these things, again, this is against conventional understanding. Once you do these things, you are showing the universe that you are willing to tie back. The meaning of religion is to tie back. Religier, tie back. Tie back to what? Tie back to your divine self. Tie back to your ancestors. The reason you are here, reincarnated here on earth, is because someone in your bloodline fucked up. They fucked up. And whatever your greatest weakness is, whether it's procrastination, whether it's confidence, whether it's men, whether it's women, whether it's relationship, whether it's career, right? Whether it's shyness, whether it's depression, whether it's anxiety, all these things are challenges put here for you to figure them out, not to wait for someone to save you, not to think by doing a ritual is going to magically happen. You have to take the necessary steps as a Heru, as a divine willpower, to work in accordance with your ritual, to work in accordance with these deities, to work in accordance with these energies. Balancing heaven and earth. Heaven, you deal with the deities, you're making your offerings, you're doing your ritual. Earth, you're working with the deity, you're doing your research, you're learning, you're networking, right? You have a plan, you have a business plan, you know what items you want to sell, you know how you want to approach it, you know how you want to market, you have your day-to-day planned out. You're taking these things seriously against the distractions, against the influences, against my man wants to fuck me or my girl wants to give me some pussy, right? You may have to turn down the pussy. You may have to turn down the sex. Nah, it's Friday night. I can't go to the party. I got a dream. I got a dream that gotta manifest. I gotta put that work in. I can't go hang out with you tonight, Sheila. I got some work I need to put in. I can't hang out with you, Craig. I got some things I gotta get done. Even though your emotions may be like, damn, I want that pussy. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Flex, make your home filled with physical representations of spirituality is tapping into that true Taurus energy and easier manifesting. Yes, Flex Washington is on it. He said a whole word. Okay. Kotabayu Mansa, sorry if I mispronounced your name, said here in Barbados, I make my own tea with leaves from the pear, guava. Yeah, very powerful, healthy tea. Also do semen retention too, finding healthy and manifestation. Yes, Z. Yes, all right. Yeah, so this energy, it's an energy game at the end of the day. So semen retention, no fat, right? I said no fat, but semen retention, it's very, very, especially for a man, very important if you want to get your manifestation up, very important if you want to get your psychic game up. You can't just be draining your seed 2-3 times a day and expect you to be this magical leader, powerful motherfucker that we need right now. We need men in leadership positions. We need men that are able to run families. We need men that are able to raise boys. We need men to turn into the alpha males that they need to be, right? But these alpha males need to be tempered with principles, okay? Divine willpower, not regular willpower that you get from fucking, I don't know, a speech or a sermon, right? Real willpower, where you are overcoming the animal within you, right? Which is going to lead you to this cosmic harmony eventually. And once you're in cosmic harmony, that's when you get more spiritual gifts, right? That's when you become one with God. That's when you tie back to the God within you, and you are now one with that universe, the universal waters, which is within you. The same hydrogen atoms that occurred from the beginning of the universe that make up the H2O within you, okay? So this is another deity you could work with. You could print out, you could buy the statue, et cetera, have it in your home, okay? You don't want to get one that looks like homegirl, you know what I'm saying? Get one that looks like you. All right. And if you're from another culture, you know what I'm saying? You could do the same thing. You could get one that looks like that. But you want it to look like you in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, you want your home to have juju. Your home should look like a motherfucking church. Your home should look like a temple. You should have all sorts of juju around you. Okay. You think me putting this behind me is not juju? Yeah, it is. It's dirty y'all looking at this. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about money. I'm talking about abundance. This is empowering me myself. Okay. This is another form of sigil, empowering the heroine within me. You think me putting these, having a situation where the wings are behind my neck is for play? No. Okay. This is magic even as I'm talking to you. Okay. And this is how you want to make your life and make things in your life, so that even if you go down, even if you go through struggle, even if you go through hardship, even if you're having a hard time right now, that you are taking time throughout your day to put yourself in the energy of abundance. And abundance is not just money. Abundance is wisdom. Abundance is knowledge. Abundance is understanding. And abundance is you going to take this physical body, you healing your childhood trauma, looking into these retrogrades, study them. I've told you about them, to study them for yourself. See how they apply to you. See what you need to Saturn. See what you need to die, being Pluto. See what you need to die and transform to. What type of water you're bearing, all right? Pluto in Aquarius. Aquarius, the water bearer. What type of emotions are you putting forth towards your transformation? What do you need? What are you latching onto that's killing you? Okay, what are you latching onto that's not serving you? Look back into your past, retrograde, okay? That's the Saturn, okay? I'm sorry, Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. Capricorn's ruled by Saturn, same thing, okay? Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. Again, same themes, all right? What are you bearing as far as your discipline, as far as your structure? What does your day-to-day look like? What are your weekends looking like? How much time are you wasting? What are you wasting time on? What are you feeding into? Okay, what do you entertain yourself with? This is not a strict thing where you're just, a square, you know what I'm saying? Because honestly, I'll tell you one thing about me. I don't even like hanging around square people. I don't like, I'm not like a person that's really, even though I study all this shit and I consider myself a hood nerd, I don't really, square people don't really do it for me. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that if you are a square, but you got to understand that this is about becoming a circle at the end of the day. And this is you understanding positive and negative and realizing that both must exist. If you do not go through challenges, if you don't go through challenges, then you cannot be what you need to be. Hold up, I'm actually shooting a live. I'll hit you back. So you can't, sorry, distraction. You can't become what you need to be until you have harnessed these emotions around your success and around your abundance. So we went over some money deities. One of the crystals you want to tap into, some of the crystals you could tap into emerald. Okay, emerald, again, green crystal dealing with the heart chakra. The heart chakra is green, color green, right? Tap into green clothes, green underwear, right? If you're having an abundance and you want more abundance, great. Do the same thing, okay? If you're not, do these things, okay? The universe, again, is supporting it. Jupiter retrograde, okay? Go back, do the shadow work, okay? Another stone, y'all may have seen me wear this in other videos. This is going back on my necklace, or my chain, I should say, aventurine, okay? Aventurine, very, very, very slept on money magnet, okay? Slept on abundance magnet. A lot of people tap into jade, but they don't tap into aventurine. So let me show y'all what that looks like. Because, we got to show and prove. We don't just talk on this channel. God shows and prove. So aventurine, okay? So that's what it looks like. That's what I just showed you. All right. So eventually comes from a word ventura, being by chance, and actually was stolen from a man-made material. Now go goldstone. Goldstone was first called aventurine. All right. So I showed you how earlier, if you go back, how AU is gold, but it's flipped. The element of gold is AU, but EU uses a tonal language for U melanin, which represents the black gold that you are. Okay. The black gold that you have within you. And even if you are from another culture, you still have some melanin in you, just not as much as I do. But that doesn't mean that, because, again, having a whole bunch of melanin and not doing anything with it is the equivalent of you having a race car and driving it around the projects. You having a Lamborghini and just parking it around the hood. You know what I'm saying? Driving it local. You're not getting the most out of it. So someone who doesn't have as much melanin but is willing to work on their car, develop their car, and take it out of the hood is going to get more use out of it, out of their car. Maybe their, I don't know, Ford Mustang, right? Then you are going to get out of your Lamborghini parked in the hood. So look at it that way. But aventurine, very powerful stone for money, okay? Something you want to tap into, okay? And it is a form of quartz. So I learned from the spirit doula that the quartz, I didn't know that before. Shout out to the spirit doula, follow her. With the quartz, you could actually, you should put that out in the moonlight, okay? So with the quartz, you want to put that out in the moonlight. I think that's what she said. But I've for a long time, I've just been charging my crystals in the moon and sometimes the sun. But she showed me. So tap into Spirit Duelist lives. Very good stuff. Okay. And fluorite, okay, is another stone you want to tap into. Okay. And wear if you have it. Put it in your purse, ladies. Okay. Keep it on your person. Fluorite. All right. Another thing, meaning to flow, okay, acts as a flux. You could do this. Fluorite, you could really put with any other crystal and it'll amplify it on the low. All right. And let's see. And again, dealing with the money flow, okay? You're putting these new ideas, these new intentions. You want to add this. And also it says fluorite boosts the immune system and stimulates the regeneration and restructuring of cells. All right. And yeah, I must be taking too long because now all these calls are coming in. And let's see. Okay, so let's get into the candle and then I'll get off of here in the next 15 minutes. So I've given you some crystals. All right, let's get into some of the stuff. I'm gonna do a live candle ritual, okay? What's up, Ezekiel? Pyrite and hematite. Yeah, pyrite, hematite, also another money abundance crystals you could tap into, okay? And again, do your own research. But that's a good one, Straight Panther. Thank you, okay? Those are two good ones, pyrite and hematite. Again, other crystals to tap into. Again, these, as I've said before, Batman's tool belt, okay? Crystals, candles, spirit bats, all these things I'm gonna show you are Batman's tool belt. You still gotta be Batman though. You still gotta do the martial arts training. You still gotta know how to throw the batarangs. You still gotta know what enemies, how you're gonna use, the cable or, the smoke balls or whatever. You still got to do the training. You still got to do the physical action so you know exactly how to use these tools, what's the best way to use these tools, and how these tools are going to best influence not only others, but influence things to magically appear and manifest in your life. So some more things you could tap into as we get into this. And you know what? I was thinking about this the other day. I'm going in New York. We got this place called Fordham Road, and they have like Crocs, and they're selling all these things that you could put in the Croc, like these little, y'all probably know what I'm talking about, where you put in the holes in the Croc, you could put like letters and symbols and shit like that in the middle of the Croc. And I'm like, yo, why didn't I've seen Crocs blow up because I remember Nicki Minaj was on a live. And she had on some pink Crocs that I remember them selling out within an hour or some shit like that, right after she dropped them. And I was thinking, damn, if Nicki Minaj would have put on something by a black designer, so-called black, a melanated designer, or but these people don't know, and that's why I need people like us to influence them, for us to tap into these things, for us to tap into these essence, so we can magnetize these people that have the resources and use our spiritual power to influence them, right? Because this is what the quote unquote secret societies and the Illuminatis and all these people that y'all scared of are doing, right? They're tapping into the energy and utilizing them as well. So why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we tapping into this energy that you're using, which is our shit anyway? Okay. So some herbs you want to utilize, very simple herbs you can get from the grocery store. Okay. Bay leaf. I think I spent $3-4. Okay. Can't really see it on the screen, but bay leaf. Okay. Another herb you could use. I'll put something together soon, a demonstration. Cinnamon sticks. Okay. Another abundance herb. Okay. I don't have it here, but I will show you. Also there is no, not bayberry. Forgot the berry, but yeah, I don't have it. But let's get into Ruta. So Ruta, or Rue. Let's go into a Ruta plant. Okay, so here it is, original botanica, the magical uses of the Ruta plant. Okay, so for time, I'm not going to read all this, but rue can be used for purification. Okay, it's used for protection magic. But I have used rue and rue bats, and they have been very good to me. Okay, you could get this from Original Botanica. Actually, you could order from there, but they also have it different places online. Luda candles, right? It has a nice scent too. Okay. Yeah, see, she got fixed root candles. And you could get these at your local Botanica. Some places have them, all right? Some places don't. Usually they look like this, Rue or Ruta, right? You could get one of these. I honestly think this is probably one of the most powerful money manifestation candles. For real. Because it gives you all the protection, it gives you all the clarity. And I don't know, when I've been using it, the money comes in clear. You know what I'm saying? It comes in clear and when I need it. So one of the things you want to tap into, you could get a bath as well. All right, Ruta, don't sleep on it. And bayberry. Okay, so let's just go into see what they say about bayberry. All right, so bayberry, good luck, wealth, business, success, persuasion, you magic, house blessings. Okay, so you could get a candle like that, and you could also get incense. You get bayberry incense as well. You could get Ruta incense as well. Look online, okay, find it. Eventually, my website, I'll have all this stuff. I'm just putting this out here now because, again, this is the time. So I don't got time. Well, the spirit that's channeling through me doesn't have time to be going through, you know what I'm saying, waiting to give you all this information, because with the retrogrades, with the energy that's in these planets, the next 3 days, we need to get busy, okay? And we need to implant and hardwire these things now, okay? Starting now. It's already past the time when the full moon hit at 2:40. So we want to get that now, all right? So I'm going to stop that. So those are just some of the things that you can tap into. Another thing is you could get, I talked about, let me minimize this. I talked about Hyjon, the Conqueror root. This is what it looks like. Y'all comments real quick. Okay, Hyjon, the Conqueror root. All right, it's a little, you can't really, I have, like I said, I have some in my wallet. So it looks like this. Okay, you get it from a Botanica, order it, go to your local Botanica, XYZ. All right. This is for luck, abundance as well. All right. As a man, definitely a good thing. Casinos, gambling. All right, bets. Not saying you're definitely going to win, but keep it on you for good luck. All right. It's another thing. You may have heard Bobby Hemmett talk about this. This is where I got it from, a Buckeye. All right. Now, I keep both of these together in a red satchel because red, again, is the color of Heru. Also, I'm doing a lot of Ogun work, Harukahuti, for those who are in the Kemetic Ogun work. So, but red is also an activating color. So I put both. I have my Hydron and my Buckeye. This is called a Buckeye. And you put them in here, satchel, and keep it on your purse, your wallet, your jacket, whatever. It's summer, you may not be able to keep it on, or you just put it on your altar, and when it's time to need it, you keep it on you. Going for a job, going for a business meeting, buying a house, getting an apartment, keep it on you. All right. Again, money stuff that's been used for centuries before you. All right, let's get into this candle. And let me see, did I cover everything? Yeah. Oh, and yeah, so this is the time of economic growth and no oppression. No oppression. Watch Priestess Osset Ra Amen's her last video that she did. She talks about very well done, by the way. She talks about oppression and how we as melanated people, we are so conditioned to being oppressed. We're so conditioned to being told we're oppressed. We're so conditioned to being told that racism is going to keep us down. Black Wall Street, they burned us. Oh, they kill all our leaders. Oh, they're not going to. No, we got to have faith in ourselves. It's 2021. We got to have belief in ourselves. We got to believe and know that it's a new day. It's a new time. That we just had a great conjunction at 12/21. That we seen the white people stomping the Capitol, that people are trying to change things. We know cryptocurrency is happening. The monetary system is changing. More people, because of the corona, are tapped in, are sitting at home tapped in their computers. You think kids aren't learning new technology? You think kids aren't tapped into being creative and forming new apps? Black Panther was about, again, going back to the movie Black Panther, was about them taking your melanated creations and giving it to white people. That's what it was. That's really the crux of it. Taking your energy, right? This is why the CIA, right, was the people that derailed Killmonger from bringing the weapons to overthrow America. And at the end, Black Panther was like, oh, we'll share our technology with y'all. You know what I'm saying? For what? I don't know. There was really no reason why that Wakanda should have even done that. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they're trying to do. So technology is advancing. Things are changing. Look up the metaverse. Okay. The metaverse is totally different than the internet. This is what's going to change reality. People are going to be living in the metaverse, creating homes and lives and shopping and dating, right? The metaverse is a whole new thing, and they're preparing your kids through it, The Sims and Fortnite and all these video games, and buying digital tokens on 2K, preparing your kids for cryptocurrency, using coins, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. And what else? So yeah, so check that out. Okay, I think I've covered everything. Don't forget to write your story. And I'm gonna get into the candle real quick. So when you get a green candle, right? Get a green candle. Again, if you can't get this should be no more than $2. All right. You get some Florida water. Okay, I'm not gonna do all this. Get some Florida water. Get a towel or some sacred cloth that you use. You're gonna go upwards. Go from the bottom up, because you're raising the frequency, you're raising vibration, and you want the wish that you put into this candle, right, for your good luck and your abundance, to raise, to go up in the frequency. So you don't put it down, you don't wash down, you always wash up. You always clean up, right? You clean it, Florida water. Reason we use Florida water, because a lot of people use it. And it has a certain frequency for magic that's already imbued in it from people using this for centuries. All right, so get some Florida water. If you can't find Florida water, you can't get it, don't worry about it. clean it the best way you can using water and soap. Again, it's about the intention and the imagination more than the actual tool. You're going to get, I already have some broken down. You get some cinnamon, just like this, okay? And you could break the cinnamon if you want into, see if I can put this here, y'all can see it. All right. So you could break the cinnamon like this. Some people shave it, right? And you break the cinnamon down, put it in here, okay? For your abundance. All right. Got a little bit of cinnamon in there. Boom. Some people put different herbs. I'm not going into the herbs right now, but you could put certain herbs. Look up money herbs, money. Just the same way I'm doing on Google. Money herbs, magic. Herbs for money, magic. Same way I just showed y'all, okay? A lot of y'all don't Google shit, but gossip and bullshit and your stresses and things that are going to hold you back, okay? Also, so you're going to add some bay leaf to it, okay? The bay leaf. Going to add some bay leaf to it, okay? Break it up. Make sure it doesn't fuck up your wick, because you don't want to burn, you don't want to light your candle and then you got so much in it that your wick is going to extinguish, and that's basically your magic. So you want to put a little bit in there, you know what I'm saying? Not too much. Boom. Bay leaf, boom, a little bit in there. And since I've been using Damiana, if you've been following me, you know Damiana is a psychic thing. So I'll put a little bit of Damiana in there because I want, again, this wisdom. So it's a representation of my wisdom, right? Do that, boom. Put a little bit of this. And what I'm going to do also is, where did I put that dollar? So, now what I'm going to do is, some people write a petition, and you could write a petition. It's totally up to you, right? But what I like to do, I like to use dollars, okay? And the reason I like to use dollars is dollars already have a sigil on there, okay? And I use the back of the dollar because the dollars have the Egyptian deities. It has the pyramid, which represents abundance and growth and enlightenment, and it has Haru, which now we know represents divine willpower, not regular willpower, but divine willpower, where you are rising above the realm of emotional influence, and you are now looking at things from a bird's eye view and perception, and you're getting divine perception, and they're able to peek behind the veil. So on this particular dollar, you can't see it really, I don't think. I have, yeah, you can't see it. Oh, you can see a little bit. I have writing on the bottom, on this corner, on this corner, and on that corner, right? And the reason I do that, I do it on this side, is fuck George Washington. You know, see? Fuck George Washington. But I don't want my dollar to be so written where I can't spend it. Because, you know, it puts a certain amount of words and letters. Some vendors won't take your money. So I put my writing on around George Washington, on four corners of George Washington's face. I lay it down, and then I'll put my candle, boom, right in the middle, right where the one is. Or you could put it on, you know, one of the sigils, because these are sigils. Sigils are just symbolism that represents an energetic frequency, a sigil. So I put it on top there, boom, and then I'll say a prayer. Usually I'll have some hustling music, some Nipsey playing, and then I will start the energetic ritual, and then I'll put it on my altar, right? And then what I'll do, I'll come back to it tomorrow. I'll put some pennies on it. And when I'm putting the pennies, I'm thinking about, okay, you know, ancestors, give me, you know, this is for my discipline, ancestors. Thank you. This is for my willpower, ancestors. Thank you. This is for me not procrastinating today, the ancestors. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? And when you give to this, remember, you're giving to yourself. So the energy you give to someone else, even if you give somebody $1, you're giving to yourself. If you give to your altar, put money on your altar, you're giving to yourself. If you put food on your altar, you're giving to yourself, okay? Everything is an exchange. Everything is a reflection of you, including your partners and the person that you're in a relationship with now, the people you hang out with, and the people that you choose to do nothing with. They're a reflection of you. Anybody that you're in a relationship in, even if they're bad, they're a reflection of you. And if they're bad, there's a lesson that you got to learn from them. That's why they're there. If you're in issues and having problems, there's a lesson that you have to learn. That's why you're there. And you got to look at that and look back when you're doing the story of yourself, when you're writing out the script and your story of your life, extract the lessons. Don't look at, oh, this is a bad relationship and oh, this person hurt me. look at that too, but figure out what the lesson was and figure out what you learned and how this has helped you and how this could help others. All right. I got to use the bathroom. I've been on this for quite some time. Sorry, I can't take any questions. I may come back tomorrow and do a Q&A or Saturday just to touch some things. All right. Shout out to everybody here. Patricia, thank you for the Cash app. Okay. V, thank you for the text. I just saw it. And yeah, I'm about to get out of here. Okay. All this talking. Got my stomach bubbling. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I know it's been a long lecture, but hopefully y'all got something out of it. Hopefully this is something, again, if you didn't start today, don't worry. You can start anytime within the next 3 days. You have literally the whole weekend because we have all this energy on the planet for you to soak up. Go out, get some sun, go out, get some nature, do your rituals, light your candles, print out your deities, buy your deity statues, erect new things. And remember, it's going to be a war. Okay? There's going to be a war. And the war is not you within them or you against society or you against your family. The war is me versus me. The war is you versus you. And are you going to put your emotions into your new way of being? Are you going to put your emotions into your spiritual culture? Now, when you're doing these things, shit may happen. Shit may start to fall apart. People may start to separate. But these challenges are coming at you so that you can master them, so you could learn how to defeat them, so you could overcome the boss challenges in your life and rise into the greatness, the powerfulness, the God that is within you. And with that said, y'all, I love you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support.